about for a D&D game.
He was so high.
He was so high that day.
He was so high.
Yeah.
He kept staring at me and watching me talk.
He ate like 5 or 6 of those nerd ones.
Yeah.
He ate the box.
You ate half
Not
of
the
it.
whole box.
Like half of it.
Like half the box.
And it was like this big.
No,
Yeah.
drive
It was
home.
probably a
Yeah.
good.
Afterwards, I thought about it. I was like, do I even want to trust the gummies that are in the same baggie? Are they cross-contaminated now?
He probably can't.
I know someone
did
I'll
at
just
least
give all
50
these to
milligrams,
and
I would guess.
let them have fun.
Whatever. Yeah, fun.
6, 5, and it's like so 2,
Oh
6,
my
5
god, that
so
was
far.
so funny. But like his eyes were glossy.
Yeah.
What eyes?
They were like pinpricks. It was great.
He didn't say one fucking word either.
No, he was so.
He was just like,
It takes a bit, but
He responded to you when you called him out. It's like, what?
Yeah, then he picked up his
Yeah.
shit.
like you're calling from across the freaking chasm of space. What do you do?
No, I didn't.
Yes, I
Oh, it was great. It was so good.
decided I can't find my phone, but I got here okay.
That's my goal.
Yeah, just to be stoned like that all the time.
Yeah.
I may have left it in the car.
What'd you leave in the car?
My cellular device.
Check.
I got my celluloid with me.
I've never heard of somebody forgetting a cell phone. That seems
I have my
highly
cellulose
improbable.
with me.
Is it in your car?
Go check.
You can go
I
check.
also got my balls in my hand.
Well, that's pleasant. You can go check. It's not a very flat table.
It's not.
Your
But they're
balls
bony.
are very rolly.
And they don't have numbers on them though.
No, they're not dice. They're the little
They're just face
the
balls.
rolly balls.
Skeleton
They're
nerds.
just face balls.
Yeah, baseballs.
Skeleton nerds.
Face balls.
Oh, that was such a good movie. My wife only just recently watched it with me.
We're combing the desert.
We ain't found shit.
And we ain't found shit.
Says Tuvok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love. Have you? We all sat down in the house over the weekend and watched the new Star Trek episode, the Rhapsody
Things.
episode.
Oh damn
Strange
it!
World.
No spoilers. No
Have
spoilers.
you watched it?
Not
No,
yet.
no,
Not
Oh,
yet.
don't
it's so
Catching up.
good.
I'm catching
Yeah.
up on that series still.
They said it was the most popular episode of Star Trek ever. The viewership was like off the charts. It was
I
great.
can believe it. And I've seen the memes all over the place of people going, "You're ruining Star Trek. You're ruining Star Trek."
What, Strange New
Whatever.
Worlds?
Yeah,
That kicks ass.
I know.
Great.
But
It's one of
they're
the
like,
best
"You're
ones they've
making
ever
it a
made."
musical. I don't like musicals.
They made one episode
I know.
of Buffy like
Exactly.
homage.
Exactly.
I mean, get over
exactly.
yourself.
I know.
Bunch of nerds.
Uh,
Bunch of fucking nerds. Did you bring your dice and your Vorpal and
I love
Vorpal
now.
Forge?
I
Stop
know
having
we're in the
fun.
time we're in the time now where there's
Stop enjoying
Nerds.
yourself.
and then there's super nerds. And where it's like you're not nerdy enough.
Actually, the term is uber nerd.
Uber
Uber
nerd.
nerd.
Uber.
Balls.
I think it should be called Vorpal Nerd.
Vorpal nerd.
That's right.
Vorpal nerd.
Alpha nerd.
Alpha nerd.
And then in the original Star Trek, it's the best one. That's the only one I watch.
Yeah, that's the best one
Al
because it
Yankovic
wasn't
is an
all
alpha
about
nerd.
the hair. Now it's just all about the hair. That just seems highly improbable in a zero gravity situation.
It's always because you made a triangle.
Between the seats.
Yep. And not on the driver's side. It fell off the center console into the passenger side.
There just would never be that many crash implants for them to land on to breathe there. They would have to have an environmental protection suit.
They're going plaid.
I can't
Poor
wait
John
for,
Hurt.
I can't wait for
Not
the,
again.
I can't wait for
God.
the live action Rick and Morty.
Have you seen did you see the promo they did for that a few years ago? Where it was what's his name from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I forget who the kid was. Who was the kid?
I don't.
It was an actor, and I can't think of the kid's name. But it was great. I think it was like like a fake trailer for like
Yeah.
football or something like for
Let
me
the
see.
Super Bowl.
Let's see if
I
can
think.
find it.
Yeah.
That's have you seen the original Rick and Marty, Doc and Marty's?
Yeah, that's the one,
The,
right?
Doc and Marty. Yeah.
Oh,
Before
yeah,
it
that,
became Rick and Morty?
Yeah,
It was actually Doc
Yeah, you got it.
Brown. Doc Brown.
Yeah, it was Doc Brown.
Oh,
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah, because like Doc Brown and Marty.
You gotta lick my balls, Marty.
Hey, we're live, buddy.
Oh.
It's too loud. You can cuss and do all that other fucking shit, but don't put that copyrighted shit on my speaker.
Well,
man.
it's the
What if
Nobody watches. Not enough people watch this to make a difference.
La, la, la,
Fucking
la,
boomer.
la, la. If anyone want to try these, these
Don't
are crap.
don't mind the growth.
Are they like super salty licorice?
They're super
That
salty
stuff
garlic.
is on the shelf over there like a fucking hazardous waste pile.
It is.
Oh yeah, right down there. Okay. Feed it to your dogs.
No,
No way.
I like my dogs. I like other humans. I wouldn't even feed it to humans.
Dang it, I wish I would have brought that to the.
Tell the people that you massage that it's good for them to eat one of
Here
them
you guys
after
go,
the
here's some
massage.
licorice.
Yeah.
Eat
They'd
this
she'd
and
be
drink
broke.
this
They'd never
water.
come back.
Give him to Trump. He'll eat anything.
There'd be like a dozen dead people in abandoned cars.
Let's not do that. That's
Yeah.
a lot of paperwork.
Just like,
No, you know what'd be perfect for that one Star Trek episode where that thing eats all your salt.
oh, I've got my first cobweb up there.
That'd be.
I should start cleaning the studio, huh?
There's one here too.
I got
I see one here too.
Oh man, it must be summertime.
I know. I was walking through the house this morning.
Let them live. They'll catch
and
the
there are
fucking annoying little
So
flies.
many tiny little spider webs.
I know. Well, one of the cats ate one of those wolf spiders.
Okay.
So it was a giant dead wolf spider on the ground, and then like a vomit trail next to it. So you can tell the cat like picked it up once they ate it. Cats are like the indoor goats, man. They'll eat anything given the opportunity.
They will.
They'll
Well,
just
an
eat
indoor goat's easy. Just bring it indoors.
We got like one of our cats.
Don't be rude.
We'll put a cardboard box just on the floor for her, and then she'll sit there and she'll just start eating it, just laying in it and tearing it apart.
One of my cats loves plastic. I'll wake
My
up in the
cat
middle
will
of the
rip up
night
paper.
because she's licking my laundry hamper.
I would just
One
give
of my
my
wife's cats keeps trying to kill
I'd
me.
give a regular piece of notebook paper to my cat, and he would just sit there for hours and like
the cord to my insulin pump.
he wouldn't eat it. He'd
I
just
would
rip it
have-
up.
I
This
would
little
have
boy, you know?
plastic grocery bags.
Like
or
I
Ziploc
took a
bags,
shower last
and my
night.
cats will
Took my
perforate
phone off,
them.
set it on the bed.
Yeah.
Took the
Chomp, chomp,
shower.
chomp, chew.
It's not
Like,
biting
oh, cool.
chunks off. It just
Son of
pulls.
a bitch! This cat.
And the cat's like chewing on the wire.
No, he already bit the part up like.
I kill you.
Yeah, yeah. I've
And
woken
then I
up.
eat you.
I've woken
And there's
up
like
to this guy just,
100 cats outside the window,
and he's slowly just
and
like
in unison,
I'm going to
and
make
like all
sure
the
he
cats in
dies.
unison.
eating just.
Is he dead yet?
You know what a group of cats
They're
is
like
called?
emaciated cats. What?
A glaring.
Are they really a group of? Well, you would know.
That's one of them.
Yeah,
that's
a
one. That's my
glaring?
favorite one. Yes.
What's another name for a group of
I
cats?
can't think of any.
Uh,
Pride.
Glaring was Yeah,
The
The
probably,
best one.
Pride.
but glaring was the best.
I guess
A clan?
well, Pride of Lions.
Lions?
It
Smart
might,
cats.
it might also be a coven.
Coven of Cats.
I think
It
so.
It would
Yeah,
make
because
sense.
of witches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I like
Clan.
glaring.
Clan of chaos.
What do you call a
A
group of
clan
witches?
of cats? Clam?
Clan.
Oh, I was gonna
Like,
say
you know.
it's-
Clan.
Oh, I get
Thunder.
it. Clam,
Thunder.
cat.
Thundercats.
Well, anyways, hey everybody, we're back from our 2-week
Hi.
break.
Don't let your
Uh,
I
kids
had
watch.
so much fun in Minnesota.
So we're
I went fishing.
toying with a possible couple adjustments in the near future. This will continue to be the D&D game. Our Monday game is probably going to switch to Candela Obscura for the remainder of the summer. And then at the end of the summer, we will probably be switching to Daggerheart, depending on how everyone likes it and reviews it. And if everyone agrees, then the Monday characters will be transformed into Daggerheart characters. Sunday, Mad Mage is probably only a couple episodes away from wrapping up. And Fool's Errand as well is about halfway through their arc too. So with that in mind, let's do a quick recap to get everybody caught up. As where we last left off, the team was successfully smuggled into the Iron Ward and put on a caravan out of town. Some attempt was made at disguise, nothing perfect, but traveling with the caravan with the idea of heading in the direction of Char and
I
finding
have
their
a-
way up and over through the Crooked Finger.
I have a hat of disguise. So.
You do have, yes, you do have your disguises. Making your way out of the Crownspire shale valleys, through the open desert and the strange kind of like creatures and kobold tribes that exist along the way. But for the most part, a couple days travel, pretty much unimpeded, affording you guys an opportunity to work on little individual opportunities as well as investigations. And it's a sizable caravan, so it travels relatively safely all the way up to the triangular border region of Center Point, which is the Central Wastes, as well as the beginning border of the Char. It is the morning of the third day, I believe, and the caravan is going due west directly into the wastes. While the dwarf bids his adieu to the rest of you, you gather up. Did you guys decide to take the wagon, or are you taking just
Yeah.
horses?
He said we could take the wagon as far as when the trail ends, and then we leave it there.
Correct,
Yeah.
because he's got you disappearing into the ash wastes at some
Yeah.
point. Okay,
And then we leave the wagon at the border
the wagon and the horses, I believe.
and the horses.
Correct.
But I
And
think
then-
we're supposed to turn the horses loose,
Yes, you
Because
leave the
they'll go back.
you leave the wagon and then turn the horses loose. Yes.
and
That's
he'll
what he
have someone
stated.
pick it up.
So it is the morning of day 3. It's warm. The humidity and the desert air is kind of setting in. The vast landscape now in front of you is ashen dunes.
I don't think it was turn the horses loose. I think it was take the horses.
No, it's turn them loose because
Turn them loose.
Once you get to the border of Char,
The horses can't go.
you have to then traverse the remaining of the ashen waste up into the Devil's Grin Mesas north of Char, and then come down southward so that they know you're not coming in from the border region.
And it was going to be an area we couldn't take horses.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So the
It was
terrain.
it was a very, very
mountainous.
mountain, well, not necessarily mountainous, but climby terrain,
Yeah,
like
we may have
a
to
lot of
climb.
climbing and a lot of
Yeah.
potential travel by foot.
We don't really have
I mean,
to
climb.
climb. You just, I'll fly you up.
When the,
they're
they're
I'll-
not gonna get eaten by stalkers.
I'll bring
Fly
Takita.
yourself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll bring Takita up.
There were nights I went out to go see stalkers, right? Or the chasing was it chasing them away, or was it just a?
They were. The stalker was like
It was a big one. I remember that one.
It got
prowling,
It
but
got
we
chased away. We didn't kill it.
yeah we didn't chase it. The rest of the guards.
But we
did
have
that.
packs.
Yeah.
So we have camping gear and stuff.
Definitely have enough kit, enough gear for the next potentially 3 to 5 days as the final leg of your journey will eventually take you into the what's known as the blasted lands of the Char, where eventually you'll find your way into the city. Other than that, day 3, early morning, as you watch the caravan kind of disappear, heading off into the central wastes. You guys now are there with your horses and wagon, and you've got at least a day's journey through the ashen wastes.
Okay, they're gone.
Yeah.
Ah, I love the feel of the wind on my bones.
Mid-morning, as the wagon is now
You know, the
trundling
disguise
through
didn't stop the wind from
the ashen
very
wastes.
far.
Who is driving the cart this time?
Get stuffy.
I think I was the last.
Is it Hans?
Yeah,
Hans and
was
Aldo were
Okay,
driving
okay.
because we all had to stay out of sight.
Okay.
Makes sense. No one's really seen it together.
Another quick
And as the
question.
mixed kind of hill and scrubby grasscape behind you with the kind of interdisposed areas of rocky forest is drifting behind you, this is more reticent of Takit's home, where it's just, with the one exception, instead of rocky landscape mixed with desert landscape, it is dunes. It's just this ashen, like dunescape that just seems to spread on forever into the horizon.
So they're more gray than like the blonde of our dunes.
Correct.
Okay. Okie dokie. Let's
Did they? Because I know we got kits and stuff, but did he give us the money for that area? It was a
char coin.
char coins, yeah.
Mhm.
Give us,
Speaking of which, what is your guys' total wealth at this point? Hey, Cliff, you want to go grab the bag so I can dole out the wealth?
Woo! Well, also,
Also, do you guys have any healing potions?
Yeah,
Yes.
gave us healing potions.
Keep in mind, you have healing potions behind you on shelves. If you need to grab them for the
he
dice,
gave us, I think, 3 heal pots as a group.
for regular healing.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 behind you up there on the shelf.
Everybody found a different amount of also healing potions on the bodies too.
Yeah.
we found,
Because I
there
had-
was 5 healing potions that we got off of the
I
The
got
Knolls.
Knolls. Thank you.
Yeah, 4 healing potions.
I was like,
106 charges.
they were
I have
canine-esque creatures.
I have 113 char coins.
I have
113.
And then I know
I'll just take
that
one
guy
and then
gave us
choose.
some. I gave to keep some.
I had 100, and then I had another 30, 2 platinum,
Just of char. Just of the char.
Round yours up to
Char?
115.
100.
That's 115 char coins right there.
Sure.
Is that what you each have, or as a group?
Not as a group.
I have 180.
That's what I
We
got.
have-
So I don't know.
180 char?
Because these are just char coins. We have.
Correct.
We have.
We
How
have,
much you
regular-
have?
we have crowns, 180 in charge.
There's your 180 char right there. How many do you have?
I got 106.
106?
Alrighty.
Because he found more on you found more on a different plugin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is your 106 char that you have. What do you have, Maggot?
I don't have any.
You don't have any char?
I don't think so.
Awesome.
I think
Did someone give us char?
No, we found them off the dead knolls.
Off the knolls.
Yeah.
What about you, Takit? Do you have any char?
It says 100 gold coins, 3
Okay.
healing potions, but I don't know if that's probably.
Hand that to Takit. Say he has his 100 char.
I think the 3 healing potions were
Yeah.
as a group.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I know I have a heal potion that I found off of a knoll.
And your
And I know Richter has a healing potion that he found off of a knoll. And
He
he's
does.
got 5
And
more
Richter
char coins
is
in
driving the cart with Alva and Hans at this point. The rest of you in the back, or did we have you guys bring spare horses?
no.
No, right. You're the rest of you in the back of the Vardo
Yeah,
at this
we were in
point.
the Bardo
Okay.
because we were hiding.
The path is a little bit more tricky, so Hans,
Oh,
give
sure.
me
Sure.
a
Vardo.
animal handling with advantage, because we'll say that you have Richter's help because he is very
Guidance.
knowledgeable of horses.
Well, we're gonna use
You gotta remember to do bard songs so that I can do guidance.
Okay.
Why do you think I have Fly Me to the Moon up on this little thing right now?
16?
And I'm
16?
messing up horribly.
Oh, be careful with saying.
That's Bella. Sorry, no, that's 12.
12.
Be careful with saying Vardo. Apparently, it's culturally insensitive.
Vardo is?
Vardo.
Did I miss that?
Only
No,
for
it's
certain people.
an SCA.
Oh,
Wait, what's Guys Giving?
gaming
I
community
don't
still
know.
Yeah,
uses
it's-
it. That's
it's-
weird.
No, it's
Where's Guys Giving?
someone
Oh,
throwing their
D4.
weight
Oh, a
around.
D4. Okay, so hold
I
on one
mean,
second.
it's-
It's 12 plus.
I didn't even know Vardo was cultural.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not, right?
It's from the root word in Farsi, I believe, for wagon.
Right.
So wagon.
Yeah.
So
It's
wagon is
offensive.
cultural.
It's offensive.
They call it offensive because it's denotation towards gypsies.
No,
probably,
if you
right?
call it the
Oh my
gypsy
God,
caravan, I
it's
could see
that
that.
would be
Offensive.
offensive, right? That's why we call it Bardo, which is
Yeah.
the traditional name
Yeah.
of it.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Just
Right.
checking.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Apparently with Guys Giving, because you told my head, guys, it's 14 altogether.
14 altogether. You're having a hard time managing the horses at this point. The pathway is a lot, like the roadway is a lot more narrow. And it appears that this path that you're currently on, the last of this, yeah, it's a lot more rickety. It's a little bit more challenging. Every now and then a rut causes the Vardo to kind of shift down and forward. So it's a bumpy ride, making the first half of your day activities a little bit challenging. Who would like to roll a D20?
I will.
I heard 3, I heard 2s and then a hand.
13.
13. Okay. The heat is building. It's getting a lot harder. By the time the sun makes its way all the way up to apex, it's well into 100-degree heat. As you can feel, it's sweltering. Not a cloud in the sky, no breeze. It's very hot.
I'm fanning myself with my wings.
Like roostering out your plumage.
I've unbuttoned my vest and my coat just
So I know Richter and you're driving the cart.
How
What are
does
the
that
rest of
heat
you?
even affect you? You're just bones.
I don't want to get baked though. Please,
He's
not that
making
way.
stock over there.
He's making stock.
Yeah, you do not
You
want.
see,
Just
you see,
wait till I pour out
you
the,
see Hans with a
booze
little
later tonight. for
spoon
the,
or ladle, like
He's got his
getting the
arms
sweat
down.
underneath
that way.
the butt sweat underneath Baruch. It's like
No, it's just going down. You know,
it's all bone broth, baby. It's all
Yeah,
bone
that's
broth.
that's what I do to make the
Yeah,
stock for the dinner.
We did it.
So you and Richter are in the main bench of the cart. The rest of you are in the back. While you're in the back, what are you doing for the first half day of the journey at this point?
Smelling like bacon.
That's pretty fucking gross.
Bacon smells amazing.
Oh yeah, I was in the corner talking to myself
I thought you were talking to your
yesterday. Yes, I am talking to my owl.
owl.
The owl
You
that
guys
doesn't
think-
move, that no one
Yeah,
knows.
I'm
that...
talking to myself.
We thought we looked weird.
And I continue that because
Okay.
Atmo, we can see Atmo.
Yeah, you can see Atmo during this trip. Yeah.
And so I'm having conversations with myself about Atmo.
Give me, and as you're having that conversation, give me a perception check as you're kind of keeping an eye in the distant horizon of Atmo and just kind of losing yourself in some memories.
13,
Oh my God, what is with the digital music?
23.
Is that you?
He's
Yeah.
clicking his little kalimba thing.
23.
I'm working. I'm being a bard and I'm practicing on my flute.
Just making sure you're not dying.
He's not dying.
Okay.
It's not his.
It's not his alarm.
He's
It's not
playing
your
with his
glycemic
ribs.
alarm.
Ding, 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 ding.
You're actually you're playing your bones.
Yeah. Practicing on the kalimba of my
What'd you get?
23.
the resonance
23?
of my ribs, my rib cage right now.
During this half day's travel, every now and then you can see something kind of large enough to kind of fly away from Atmo and then kind of disappear off on the horizon, and then something coming in out of the bright clear sky towards Atmo as you're actually watching the trade routes kind of intake people in and disgorge the huge Atmo ships out in the different directions. You can see the long tendrils of Luna Shard stone. From here, the fact that you can see the gleam of the blue stone mixed into the inverted teeth of the jagged underneath of Atmo You're talking about mountain ranges that are upside down, kind of like pointing downward, and always the huge landscape of Atmo floating off in the distance. Your voice, your familiar voice in your head. You know, we're never going to get back there. I don't know why you keep thinking about it. We need to focus on getting me out of here, and then I can get you up there.
We're not going to go up there on this trip. I know that. We'll get you out of here.
Are you sure?
We'll get you out of here.
Because, you know, Char is a bit notorious for getting access to people that have certain kinds of skills.
Yeah.
Just say, maybe checking the dens when we get there might be a good idea.
Would it be a good idea?
Would be a good idea? Are you saying that out loud or is it actually okay?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't hear him, but you can hear me.
What would be a good idea? Hans is just like, who's she talking to?
Everything we're doing.
Probably not, really. We're following this guy. And look what happened to me.
You guys
No-
feel
no
one of the
respect.
wheels shatter on the Vardo as it hits a rock? You feel the whole right end of the wagon drag to a halt.
Oh shit.
That was definitely not.
Well,
a good
I
idea.
know what I'm going to have to do because I'm sitting on top of the thing.
Give me a deck save.
Well, plus a 5. 17?
17. You hold on to the rigging to keep yourself on top, and you feel the whole wagon shift to it. What's your passive perception?
Damn it,
Maggot?
Hans!
Did we bring an extra wheel?
There is 2 extra wheels on the Vardo on the side, lashed down.
16.
16. Okay.
I get out and go and look in the the wheel.
Yeah, they're lashed to the side with all the tools and everything you'd need to pull off the old one, put the new one on. You can see the rock, this jagged crystal-like rock that just tore the wheel into shards. And like you look further up the roadway, there's a lot of exposed rock. I'll say,
Does it look like it was changed recently?
yeah, give me survival and give me survival since you're more up at the front at this point.
Survival for Hans is
I'm apparently focusing a lot more on the wheel. I got 6.
6, okay.
Start casting mending on the wheel.
It's too shattered to mend, unfortunately.
18 plus 0, but still an 18 though.
18? You get the feeling that a very intense sandstorm came through here. And it pushed all of the soft sand off the road and has now exposed all the like underneath quartz and granite and exposed kind of jagged points of rock underneath the ash.
Shiny! No.
Maybe shiny rock.
There are shiny rocks.
I mean they're nothing overtly valuable, but some of the rocks look interesting to see.
I'll explain about that then. The fact that if he'll vaguely explain, he's not that smart. Roads kind of deteriorated.
Time to start walking.
Got it. Road's fucked. We need to hoof it.
Yes. Tractor
Does it
sandstorm
look
came through.
too fucked to continue through?
It depends on how far you want to check. Right now, there's a lot of. It's not that it's impassable. It's just that whoever's going to guide the Vardo through this has got to be really good at animal handling to pull it off.
That is neither of us.
Oh, great. What about Richter?
I mean, if you get him out of his stoned comatose and
Oh, Richter's animal handling. He's still only got a +5.
Probably more than everybody else.
Way more than me.
No, I got
I got
good.
plus 2.
I mean, you're only like what, level 4, level 5?
I can do it.
I think I'm still
Mine's a
That's
plus
true
one.
because you ride your bat all the time, so you've got a pretty decent.
I got plus
So-
6.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of like get up to the front where Hans and Alva are staring up down, up the road.
I'm gonna go scout the road.
Okay.
ahead.
I'm gonna go with her, but I'm going to
I'm gonna fly.
yeah.
Okay. So you're
Ring of flight?
walking, or
No, ring of fly.
so the two of you are, and then checking that out.
That must be
Okay.
nice.
While you guys work on the wheel.
Richter's already kind of like pulling the old wheel off, getting the tools up and underneath, and you guys watch as you two fly off. The wagon starts coming up from Richter getting it ready to fix. As you two fly forward, go ahead and give me perception with advantage because you are flying.
That is a 9. That
23.
is an 18.
23,
You said perception?
Yep.
Dirty 20.
20. So as they are flying off, Richter's
Wait.
changing the wagon. What
Are
are
you guys
doing?
Are you guys actually flying somewhere?
They're gonna go scout the
Just
road.
forward.
Okay, here. Take this. Take the map.
You have to be attuned.
Wait, I got an idea.
I don't know
Wait, before we
anything
do
about
this,
shit.
I grab Maggot by the back of his jacket. Let's go.
What's your strength?
7.
Plus a 0.
As
have
he
an
drops
11.
Maggot, I pick Maggot up.
So I can roll a strength
What
check.
the fuck is going on?
Give me a strength check. Would you there, Talia?
Should I do a
I'm just gonna do one.
Yeah, that would have been.
Go ahead and roll the d6 for my 10 feet of fall damage. Let's
What'd
it
you
over
get?
with. I can tell exactly which she
I
rolled. I can
you
tell
feel
by her
like
face.
you could carry
what
him,
she
but it's going to
rolled.
limit your height, and
You're
it's
just
going to
choking
make
him
you
off.
move at a slower pace.
Why don't you just? Where the fuck is Belfry? Can you
I don't know. Probably off hunting shit.
Probably got eaten by a stalker.
just use it from here and see what you can see?
You use the
Yeah, I got on top of the road.
okay.
The
So
wagon, as one says. And I will get my be like
yeah.
unroll
As you-
the map.
So as you two fly off, and the rest of you are back at the wagon, Richter's changing the wheel. Anything you want to do to keep while this little downtime has occurred?
No.
Okay.
Nothing going on.
having done moments? We're gonna check the crystals, see if we can.
Okay. Give me an investigation check as you begin to look at the rock protrusions that are sitting up and kind of like jutting up through the.
I can't stand that shit.
I know. That's me too. That's my wrong.
What?
No, drunk old man shit.
Okay. I don't speak boomer, so I don't know.
You look like you do.
I definitely do not speak boomer.
21.
21?
Dye that hair green again, buddy.
As you you can hear the wagon being worked on by Richter. The others are all gone. Only
Can't look at
Tekeet and Maggot are with you at this point.
that. Yeah, don't.
Tekeet's like just sitting in the wagon, kind of reading one of his books, like he's patiently waiting. You can see Maggot up on the Vardo, kind of like scanning. Perception with advantage while you're doing that. And you
Double
find an
advantage?
interesting rock off to the side of the road, like not quite in it, but slightly off to the side. It has flecks of yellow, green, purple. It's a mix of like quartz and some other turquoise stone.
25.
It gives give me a survival check as you examine it a little bit more closely.
Please, just don't hurt your own anymore.
With the horns, one of those fucking things. Through the mind.
I mean, your dice tower looks amazing, but it's
Wait,
so useless.
I know, it's just.
Nothing can roll down it, so it's
I
shit.
love how that dice fits
Time to put that on a shelf at your house and admire it from afar.
It's time to like print a new one that's just slightly upsized.
15?
15? It looks like it might be what's called conglomerate stone, where it's a mix of a bunch of different kind of rare, kind of quartzite-like elements. Conglomerate stone. And it,
I believe.
if you can harvest a chunk of it, it's a very common kind of ingredient for alchemists to use as they grind it down as an additive to kind of stabilize their chemicals. It's got some value.
That's how you make lead into gold.
Microcline is, I think, what you're talking about.
So,
What?
Microcline.
Well, if it was real, sure, but I'm not. It's not.
Fine
real.
then.
Stop trying to inject
Don't
reality.
even, don't put your real physics.
Microcline. I'm just telling you that you've got it wrong. Actually,
It's a vorpal stone.
Fuck you, I'm going home.
I was like, he would too.
don't let
Don't let the
don't
door
let that hit you where the good Lord split you.
I'm gonna jet. I'm gonna jet.
Move.
I'm gonna
So-
jet.
I don't have to
Hans
take this.
is like trying
No,
to
no.
not to like
Shit.
Goes
overly
negative,
dig
try to be
side about
positive.
this
Yeah.
place. For something to experiment with, but yeah, I want to see if I can.
Can you
Try,
hear
can I try to get out? How?
Hammer and chisel will be part of your toolkit.
Yeah, it's true. Okay,
Okay.
so
I think so.
for-
So as you pull out your hammer, like you pull out your hammer and your chisel,
Okay.
and you go to strike it,
No,
I need you to make a
nobody's-
deck save, please.
That lives next door. He's special needs.
No, wait, Dex.
What's your passive perception?
My-
It's horrible.
You know, it's
Okay,
my
that's all I need to
It's
know.
ADHD drink.
Probably what, 12, 10?
12.
12, okay.
I'm just up there with my bone flutes.
Lots of special
Okay, so Dex.
Because you're flying with her, right? Up
Yep.
the main path, or up the main road.
Can't help it.
15 plus 5, 30, 20.
Dirty 20. So as you approach it and you go to chisel into it, just before you do, you watch as a row of teeth kind of line up on it. And then the two of you kind of bounce away from it as a tumbler worm shoots out, tries to grab at you, and then pulls itself back down into the ground and sets itself in an inanimate state. And that's when you realize the whole road is now littered with tumbler worms. You're watching them as the two of you fly forward,
I'm really glad we
looking along the path directly. Every now and then you see clumps of rocks moving and then burrow into the ground. Move off the road and into the sand dunes, burrow down.
flew. That's
You get the feeling that the sandstorm might have disturbed like a rather large nesting area of tumbler worms.
What are the odds of
Fireball!
Just like get a.
There's a lot of them.
Damn it,
Oh, is it?
Chucky!
What are the odds of a shovel?
You totally
being
should have
in
played
the-
Learning
the-
to Fly.
There's basic equipment's provided in Navardo. So shovels, pickaxes, those all
There's a
exist.
good bard.
As you're panning the area, they've scouted forward, Maggot, and you watch as two halflings in a trench coat bounce away from a creature that just popped out, tried to chomp off their hand, and you're like smiling with that knowing grin you get. And you're scanning, and about
Maybe I'll get one of them.
like
Two's a nightmare.
at like the furthest edge of your like vision with the telescope, you're like you can see like sand cresting.
Oh no.
Like,
All right, well,
moving? Like rolling?
I'm gonna look.
Cresting like a wave.
I'm gonna look to go another way. I'll
Yeah,
start
you're like
doing.
you like pan away, and instead of facing towards the eastern side of the road, you start looking towards the western side of the road. There is a kind of now exposed bit of rock from where the sands have shifted, and it's almost like this like very long plateau of rock that's maybe only about 20 feet high out of the sand that seems to run parallel to the same direction that you guys are going.
And do I see stuff like going over it, or nothing? Nothing's really disturbing it.
With that perception check, you look, you can see telltale signs of camp smoke coming out of the rock.
Okay, we'll go that way. Hey,
We're not there.
I don't know what's going on with that sand out there, but it looks like it's a wave, and there's probably something under it. I ain't gonna mess with it.
by this point do we come back?
There's a bunch
I
of
mean, you've gone
worms!
far enough that this sandstorm has littered tumbler worms all across the front of your main access to get further north towards the border. I'd say because of your perception rolls, after seeing that, you look in the different directions. You do see the telltale signs of campfire smoke off to the eastern side or the western side. And as you see the cresting sand dunes off in the distance, those cresting sand dunes are probably sandworms for sure. They could be dune smites, but you're never really heard of them being this close into civilized areas. If they're dune smites, that's worse than if they were sandworms. But you definitely are, you get the feeling that some sandstorm rolled through and just kind of disrupted.
Don't birds
everything.
like worms?
Okay, so what I'm getting
Don't
is
birds like
the
worms.
DM doesn't want us to go that way, so let's go that way.
So what I'm
Up to
getting
you.
is
I'm just telling you
have
what you're seeing.
fun.
Richter. Who's playing Richter?
I have scary.
I'll play him.
I'm changing the wheel, boss. I'm getting there.
Hey, how long do you think it'll take for the creatures to calm back down after this storm?
Oh, after if it was a pretty heavy storm that came through here, a couple days probably.
Couple days?
Yeah.
How much food and water do we have?
Does he have speak with animals?
Couple
Well,
days
I mean,
and
with
still
the
two-
Vardo, we got 2 weeks.
2
With
weeks?
food, water in the Vardo, sure.
So we could stay here no problem for a couple of days.
If you want to,
Well, I
sure.
mean-
We got a mission.
Yeah.
Look, right over there.
Puts the new wheel on
Nice
and
flat
starts
rock
hammering
to-
the pinion into the sprocket.
That way over there, does it look like we could take the wagon, the Vardo?
Give me a survival check on your way back as you look at the dunes that lead towards the plateau area.
30-20.
30-20.
No,
They're
sorry, 21.
21. With the shifting of the sands, they've kind of compacted in certain areas. There are some kind of rugged spots that look like it might be stable enough to allow the Vardo to go over up towards the plateau. The trick is finding a way up onto the flat of the plateau and hope that it's, a smooth enough surface. Maybe, the Vardo could go that direction.
Richard's gonna try something.
Richter's going to try something? Yeah, what's he trying? Oh, yeah, we'll let Baruch play.
Okay.
Richter.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna
Kind of does even when Matt's.
Yeah, it's fine. After hearing there's the little, what were they called?
The tumblers.
Tumblers.
Yeah.
He's gonna try ritual casting, speak with animals,
Okay.
and kind of like take a piece of jerky, walk over to where Aldo we're at,
Don't
and just
feed it. We don't want to
toss
encourage
it
to follow
right
us.
there. And be like, "Hey, if you want more food,
It comes out of the ground, kind of grabs the jerky and scurries back into its little burrow, and it locks back into its rock form.
was that good? You want more?" Excuse me. If you do me a favor and tell your friends along the path to let us go by, we'll give you a good amount of food.
Yeah. Like it looks and give me a persuasion check with advantage because you can't speak with animals.
Okay, but that direction has those big giant sandworms.
Well, the due east away from the road. It's like parallel. They're like, it's almost like, wild animals getting disturbed by bad weather.
Yeah.
You kind of get that vibe that's what they're shifting and moving about for. What'd you get?
But with advantage. So.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah, you have advantage because you can't speak with animals.
oh my God. Okay, you said persuasion.
Mhm.
That's an 11.
11. The creature kind of just slowly crawls back into its burrow and get the feeling these
He takes
creatures
out a piece of
these things
the
are
jerky.
pretty feral. They're hard to speak with. They don't appear to be too bright. I mean, you could try again if you want, but these things are not very responsive.
Other question. Did we say that Baruch could have that one ritual spell with the sausages?
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Oh god.
What are you doing with
No.
sausages?
Earth to sausages. What are we surrounded by?
A bunch of earth.
Well,
Yeah.
they're not.
But we don't want to feed them.
I
No, but-
mean,
If we
You want to turn
Well,
if
them
we
into...
feed them to move them away from the cart as we're going. that's what I'm
Would they
thinking.
count as earth because they turn into rocks? Could you turn them into sausages?
Can you? Would they taste like rock
No.
candy?
no, they're
No.
they're rocks. They're
Rock
you know
sausages.
they're
No, it needs
They're
like
more of a
soil and
so yeah no so. I mean, if you wanted to, you could turn the soil, into sausages near where you see all the tumblers
Let's see what happens.
and see what happens. Yeah, it's a
I'm down for
possibility.
that.
yeah, I think that's what Baruch's gonna
Richter,
do.
like-
He's gonna wait for Baruch after
Although,
Richter.
if we go the direction away from the smoke that we're seeing, we may miss a milestone. Just saying.
You're so fucking crazy.
We're still in the bitterness of, what was
I mean,
the underground area that we
I'm already a
decided-
milestone back, so
Flooding the gates and didn't get nothing.
Oh, look, my finger.
Ooh, look, a feather.
yeah. So Baruch's gonna try that. Then he's.
I mean, we got time. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's fixing a wagon.
So I'll say you test it out on a couple of the tumblers that you can see. You turn some of the soil nearest them into like away from the inward direction.
Yeah.
So it causes them to approach it and
Yeah.
move out. For the first 100 yards, it's pretty successful. Richter is going to take over driving the wagon.
Okay.
So what's his animal handling? +5?
Yes.
6, 5, 6, 5, 5. 5.
So he'll have advantage since Hans and Alba will be helping him by spotting the tumblers.
Well,
So
Maggot
Richter
help
can
too. Maggot's
do-
got a +6. Animal handling.
So maybe Maggot.
It could either be Maggot driving the wagon or it could be Richter.
Maggot with Richter helping.
So I was gonna say because he was already on the top anyways, and then the whole he came to try.
Why
to
do you
get-
keep hitting that? It's only been there
I
for.
don't know. For some reason, you guys
Did your
moved
ass
it or
get-
something.
No.
You guys moved it.
Your ass just got bigger.
Chair.
He spent the entire
chair.
2-week break just doing squats.
You guys moved the table 2
you-
inches this far. I know you. Now you are.
Takes 4 people to lift this thing.
I was wondering why it was so much more, roomy back here.
Fuck all of you.
Thank you.
You're all
See?
fucking with me.
Because this
That's
was
good, like,
this is not the
there.
exact center of
Oh,
the
that's
table.
true. That's right.
See, he bumped the light and turned it off when he moved the table. See, he just
I hate all of you. Disadvantage all night.
okay, no problem.
Disadvantage on the
Atypical
cat.
for you know, with my rules, you normally don't have to.
Fair.
Actually,
So
I
the
found
wagon
a,
wheel's back on,
Nasty old-
and so far Baruch is now convincing the tumblers to move away
Nat 20.
with creating the sausage. So you're driving the wagon this time.
Yeah, I got a nat 20.
Okay.
That's a 26.
So 26 with Richter's help.
You had just advantage.
Yeah.
You want to try and get better than a 20?
It's a little bit more of a slower pace.
With Rick
But I'll
Dooley,
say
I mean,
by
stoned out of his board.
Late afternoon, you get out of the main nest of the tumblers that were disturbed, and you're back on a much more normal remnant of the road for the second half of the day.
Before we leave
The
that area,
plateau is now parallel to you. The contrails of smoke kind of left behind as the whatever camps were there have already been passed. You kind of get out of range. You no longer see any of the activity out in the dunes. You're a good 10, 15 miles into this first leg of the trip, heading towards the borders. The sun is beginning to hang low and it's starting to cool a bit.
I made an extra 12 of those sausages, and I'm like, "Hey, Maggot, here you go.
12 sausages.
12 sausages."
Good enough for tumblers. Got to be good enough for maggot.
Sounds
better
good to
than
me.
It's not oatmeal.
It's not oatmeal.
Is that real me? And he's sitting right in front of Takit, looking at Takit, going,
These ones are special.
I
They
just
actually
"Are you
have.
thin slicing?"
I just cut one little piece off and
They
Tastes
have a
pretty good.
slight dirt taste, but there's also some like spice mixed in there.
Probably the most protein you've had in a while. Well, since that one party you went to.
God, what the? Oh, what is this? I'm only used to oatmeal. It's like, my heart health is fucking off. Excellent.
Yeah, your
I'm
heart
like-
health's so good
yeah.
it stops with
Yeah,
the inclusion of meat.
yeah.
As soon as it touches you, oh god!
I'm the most healthy goblin in the known world.
Everybody give me perception checks as you
Me-
do the second half of the leg.
A dirty 20.
2019.
Also a dirty 20.
Nice.
Wow.
16.
Perception, 19.
You know what this means? These are trivial rolls.
24.
When it counts, we're gonna roll
gonna-
horrible.
we're-
Okay, so if you roll anything but a 1, you'll live. Oh, I got a 1.
As you guys are on the second half of leg of the journey, you can now see Atmo at a different angle because you're moving quicker along the northern route towards the Devil's Grin border.
I'm just staring at Atmo.
Yeah, you're just like staring up at it. You can see the huge airships like leaving, coming, going. You guys feel Richter stop the wagon all of a sudden. You got to look forward. There's about 7 ratlings kind of standing at the edge of the pathway. They're dressed in their kind of typical nomadic attire.
So they're people.
You know them to be kind of scavenger-like. They live in very harsh desert areas. They're not all that dissimilar from mouse folk that live kind of like in the forests and some of the more kind of like wilderness-like areas. But ratlings tend to exist out in these kind of sparse desert-like areas. They're actually, give
You're
me a history
furry
check.
doglings.
Kind of, yeah,
Mole rats.
yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Please.
17 plus
Man,
5.
Ever since you've been
anybody
hanging
at
out
the
with
table,
Baruch.
please, it'd be maggot.
Exfoliate your skin, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you know them to be very good hunters.
Almost done.
They're avid nomadic traders for sure, but they tend to be a bit like pack rats, where they find whatever they can. And while within their own communities, those kind of hordes are valuable to them, but every now and then they've been known to come across things that could be interesting. And as all of you look,
Do they look aggressive or do they look like
no, they
just didn't
look like a group of traders that are just kind of slowly parallel walking along the road. And you can see
If you have gold,
like
rat can have wares.
on their backs, these big kind of blossomed out like carriers that are on their backs. You could see
You know
small
that-
ratlings inside them. Kind of, you see a little ratling head poke out and then kind of poke back in.
You know, in the labyrinth where there's that collector lady that had
Mhm.
all of that big pattern
Yeah,
back.
it's kinda like
That's
what they
I'm
look like, yeah.
picturing right now.
Yeah, I mean the ratlings are only about 2.5 feet tall. They're not very
Not sure.
big. They're not tall, but they're kind of corded. You know how like people that live in very kind of like difficult environments just get strong and resistant to the
like-
heat.
A chimpanzee's not tall, but you wouldn't mess with
Yeah, because they're very strong.
it.
They're dense.
This
just-
looks like this to you. This looks like a trade pack, is what it looks like.
Martha
I'm
from
gonna
Something
look
About
over at us.
Mary.
Say, anyone have stuff we want to, or we'd be interested in trading for someone else? Trade?
We'll trade maggot and Baruch
Not people.
For some oatmeal.
Taki just like looks over his book. I get rid of these two.
I mean, if we get rid of him, honestly, our lives.
I'll get
Okay.
down and go
Is
over
there
and talk
anything
to
that
him.
we could,
Okay.
looking around?
I mean, you have lots of supplies and equipment in Navardo, like standard supplies and equipment, whatever you have on your personal possessions, extra tack, harness, rope, chain, things,
Let's see
extra
what they
camping
have.
gear and stuff like that.
Let's see what they have and let's.
So you start trundling towards them and they immediately kind of like stop and set down their huge packs. You watch as these wooden like spindles come out. And by the time you reach them, Maggot,
We'll see.
so Maggot, by the time you reach them, they've already set up shop.
Okay, perfect.
And like they've set up shop, and it's strange because the little basket carriers are now like little kiosks for each one of them.
Right.
And they've got all these like trinkets, like different kind of trinkets hanging off everyone. And there's one ratling there with this huge yellow mohawk just sticking straight up. He's got like a bandaged eye, and he's wearing like a really nice shirt, but like cut off trousers. He's got sandals on his feet. His tail is kind of wrapped around his waist like a belt. Come, Goblin. Come see our wares. Come.
It's Pumat Red.
All
Come on.
right. Yeah. I'll take any bags of holding before anyone else asks for them.
All bags hold things. Sure. He runs over, grabs like a dozen bags, and gives them to you.
Perfect.
Trade.
What else do you have?
There are no bags of holding.
Give me a perception as she's like pointing at things. And you,
I'm gonna come over.
Well, that's happening. Yes,
okay.
I think.
You come over as well. You're coming over as well. Okay.
Guidance.
13.
13.
Guidance.
Whatever. Guide me.
It's a D4, you boomer.
16.
Well, that's actually a good idea. I think if people cast guidance, you should roll a D4.
That's right.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
So 16.
16. As you're examining all their different dangles and like all this like metallic objects and like tchotchkes and things.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's like but a lot of it's like salvage stuff and like
Right.
scavenged and stuff like
Like
that.
a washer on a leather
Yeah.
thong and stuff.
By the time as you're scanning everything and the rest, over here, and he's like guiding you to the different.
Big foam corona.
By then, Talia and Baruch kind of like arrive. More, like looks at Baruch.
Don't lie.
More customers, and like the rattling comes over and guides you in, and
Nope, I'm not wearing
Do
it.
you travel through these areas often?
yes, we live in the plateaus. Yeah, yes. Probably one thing that catches your eye. There's a small, like, it looks like a humanoid skull, but it's kind of weirdly formed. But two of its teeth are like bright gold.
Oh my god, I want the skull.
What's up with that skull?
Oh, we scavenged it from the belly of a dead stalker. Yeah, stalker meat. Good. We have dried stalker meat if you need provisions for your journey.
I got a
Skull?
50-pound bag of oatmeal.
Skull?
Trade you.
Oh, they're rats.
I'll cast detect magic back at the Wardo and then walk up with it.
Okay.
Just see if they got it.
Give me perception with advantage as you do that.
I got a 23 for my perception.
Okay. You notice the skull.
So what is the guidance to 6?
Extra D4.
Four.
You notice the skull. But there are other strange things here. Like there's a small shrunken hand in like a jar that's hanging off one of them, off the kiosks. There's like another one has a small like little vial for a potion, but there's a tiny little eyeball kind of floating in some weird yellow gelatin inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see thin bits of ribbon and leather and metal and almost like they harvested or like scavenged like remnants of armor and then like took it apart and they're selling all the bits and bobs for it.
I'm
There-
gonna cast detect magic.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
You make it up there as well and you cast detect magic. The skull with the gold teeth is giving off a evocation.
Guess I'll cast it.
As you walk, you notice that the skull with the gold teeth is doing that as well.
I
But the hand in a jar is giving off necromancy magic, and then the eye in the little vial is giving off enchantment magic.
And in
I did do the.
Oh. And the rattling looks at you. I wonder if they'd mind if we just took a small bite from it. Maybe not. Anyways, trade. Rope, chain, water. Do you have water? Water's always good for trade.
How much
Can I-
water for that skull?
Yeah, how much
The
water?
skull
does
here
that
with the teeth. A gallon of water for the skull.
Hold on. I have. Shit, where's free water?
Or not.
Wait, hold it.
Yes, dead man. What can we do for you?
There it is.
Do you trade for food as well? I have these wonderful sausages that were just made.
Oh, may I try one?
Go
Oh, like tastes like dirt, but good.
They shouldn't taste like dirt.
I didn't put effort into these.
It's
ones.
like catfish tastes like the river.
Yeah,
it's like
it tastes like It's like if you ever like a certain duck tastes like the water you take them
Yeah,
from.
right.
Yeah,
right.
It's just
And
like
that water tastes like their shit.
I can trade for a sausage. Are you still back at the Vardo at this point with Richter?
Pretty much all behind everybody's already.
Okay, so you're all up there
We'll
except for
trade
Richter.
you a half
Don't worry, I got the Vardo.
I would like.
Yeah.
I kind of like the skull.
What can we trade for one half
I
lane?
did make my passive
Your
Not much.
passive perception.
so what'd you roll?
15.
15. Okay. The third one over, there is a familiar looking blue dust in a small kind of like copper kind of incense
It's a snuff box.
base, you know. You can see a little metal protrusion, and the interior of it is like lightly covered with luminary dust, but not enough for your detect magic to pick up on it. It's almost like they dug that up somewhere, and it's covered in like residual effects of the luminary dust.
So I'm gonna pick out the skull with the teeth, the head with the jar, and the eye with the eye and the
I-
bottle.
I am interested in that game.
That's fine.
Trade.
Do you have
We take sausage and we take rope,
water?
chain, water.
Because out of
Okay,
character.
here you go.
Out of character. Create water. The water doesn't disappear, right? It stays.
Yes, it does stay.
Okay. So do you have?
Eh.
Oh my God! Receptacles. What the fuck are they called?
Do you have jars,
Yes.
jugs,
Jugs,
containers?
Wineskins.
Yes.
We're not barbarians. We actually like living this lifestyle.
Right.
Of course.
Can you get
But-
them?
Yes.
I can fill them.
Oh, all of them? How much can you create?
I think it's 30
How much can you give us?
a lot.
Oh, strange person and duster. Did you know your penis is hanging out? Oh shit, that's an arm. I'm sorry.
Don't forget
I
the
thought it
eye.
was a nose.
It was supposed to be an arm with an apple.
Every now and then disappears into the comes
The
out.
apple gets smaller and smaller.
Trade water. He like starts speaking a clicking noise and like a hissing noise back towards. You watch as three other ratlings kind of start dragging over on a like a what are those indigenous stretchers called when they're
Litter?
litter? Yes, start dragging over.
We're all having issues with.
I know with
Words
words
today.
today, right? Brains
Dirt.
decompressed. Yeah.
Dirt.
You
yeah.
watch as they drag over a big litter filled with about a dozen empty, like half-gallon wineskins. And for the next 10 minutes, you're helping them fill them all. And the leader of the group, the big rat, just kind of, take what you need. This is a lot of water. Sausages, water. Do you have rope? We always are in need of rope. Rope.
I'll send someone back for rope.
Ah.
I'll go look at it.
Okay, so you head back, bring back a 50-foot coil of rope. Yes. Yes. What else can we get you? What else?
That thing.
Oh,
What is this?
I pulled all of the things with them.
the
Yeah, where'd you
incense
find this?
holder.
Oh, that's. I
Yeah.
love incense. Incense is
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Anything else, Tom?
Not really.
Let's just get Alva or Alex, see if there's like any jewelry or anything. Something.
Give me investigation.
I just wanted the glowing things.
Clearly,
The shinies.
it's always the shiny.
Anything
You're the
else?
easiest ones to sell.
Well,
It's
I
always
really
the
want
shiny.
the skull because being a dust knight, I really just want to hang the skull from my belt.
So the Republicans
Thank
won
you.
hard.
19.
I just wanted to see if it would work.
The-
but I
Oh,
interchanged
she
it.
did.
The smaller
Smaller
the little
viewers.
kind of like organic kiosks they carry on their
That
back.
might be bad.
It's covered in rare stones. Like
Find out what
you
the skull is.
recognize
I wonder if I can
at
take
least
these.
two of the stones are
Like the same ones for the worms. Like,
no, two of the stones are uncut diamonds. They're about the size of a golf ball.
so I'll point it out and be like, right there, right there.
Ah.
Right there.
Yeah, yes. trade for stones. We have many pretty glittery stones if you'd like them.
I point out the diamonds.
For those two. Of course, you already so much trade. Do you have blade? Do you have blade? Spare blade? You can trade by chance. We're always glad to trade our glitter stones for weapons of defense and hunting. Arrows. Do you have bolts? Arrows. We're always looking for
We have a
arrows.
pickaxe we can give you.
No, I can't hunt with a pickaxe. I don't even know what that's for.
I have
The
crossbow
dagger
bolts.
look like a larger set. Wait.
A dagger to them would look like a short sword.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
give him a dagger.
Okay.
I don't need it.
Thank you. Oh, any more?
I have.
I'll take
I have.
that out.
Oh, thank you. This is good. Yeah.
Shoot
Um,
crossbow bolts. So
It goes over to the other ratling there and goes. And the other ratling goes. Kind of goes around, starts plucking all the glitter stones and puts all the bright shinies into like a small skin bag and here you go.
how much diamonds?
So there's 2 uncut diamonds, a dozen uncut turquoise stones.
I just want the 2 diamonds.
Well, I gave her the whole
I
bag,
got
so I'm
the
telling
whole
you what's in
bag.
the bag.
So
But
you
she
said
can write
12?
down the rest.
Okay.
I just want the diamonds.
So a dozen turquoise
turquoise.
uncut stones, 3 uncut sapphires, and 1 uncut emerald. So they're like raw, like they found them either in a mine.
Question:
Or-
how big is the emerald?
They're all about golf ball size.
Damn.
They're all about about this big.
Yeah, I just.
Can I get an emerald and a sapphire?
I don't think that. No, it wasn't sapphire. It was
Uh-huh.
amethyst. I thought it was amethyst. Oh wait, no. Okay, hold on.
Emerald,
like,
sapphire, and turquoise.
Turquoise?
Turquoise. Okay, so it was
12?
12.
Oh my God,
turquoise.
maybe I should
Yes.
write it down. All right, you said 2 diamonds.
1 emerald, 3 sapphire.
Just emphasize uncut because they're unrefined.
No, yeah,
so
1 emerald.
Yeah,
and
but
3
uncut
sapphire.
and unrefined should still work for spell components.
They're all
as long as it's equal value, sure.
and turquoise.
Sometimes the value improves on stones
When you
if
put
they're
them-
refined.
with the cut.
So in an uncut value, it might only be a few hundred coin, but when they're polished and faceted, and they could be
So-
worth 1,000 coin,
For the
depending.
uncut diamonds, about how much would they be?
I mean, give me an insight check as you stare at them.
Don't do anything experimental with me with
I
that.
rolled a 19 plus 6, 25.
25. The general size of them, if they're cut correctly, you could probably split each one of them into 500 gold worth of coin.
If
Now I just
processed.
need to find someone to polish these. They'll make great.
Good friend.
Eye sockets,
Yep.
eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Books, scribblings, writings.
Oh, no, we use those for our fire pits to make us warm at night. Sorry,
Do you have any that you haven't burned yet?
I can check. You watch as he goes over to a separate litter that's set aside on one of the other ones, and he's kind of like going to see rags and bits of leather. And, oh, yeah. He brings over a small book to you. Oh,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I got the sword.
no, evidently she took it.
You grab it.
Well, we.
Typical.
She's holding everything.
She is your Laura Bailey.
Yeah, she's like got quick hands on everything.
Meanwhile, you like,
He wanted to get
meanwhile you go over to Talia and go, here's a dozen bags of Holden's.
Yeah.
They're just regular bags. Bags for Holden. That's it.
What? I like the skull. Why can't I have a skull?
I like the skull.
No,
I had
people
kids on
live
it.
here.
Look, she likes collecting heads.
Oh, the Devil City. No, we don't go there. Once you get past the ashes, you'll see the great mixer. No, we know to stay away from that people. That people hunt our eat us.
I am
I saw that you had
tasteless.
I think we are done here.
I put my hand in all the bags just to make sure they're just little bags.
Yeah, they are. They're just. I mean, he gave you 12 bags of holding. Bags hold things.
What? My arm goes all the way inside one? All right.
Your arm goes all the way in, and then it goes all
Then it gets bit off. It's a bag of arm biting.
It's a minute
back.
back.
Back of power.
It's a horrible bag of holding.
We scavenge one that was killed. Easier that way. That way they don't eat us. We hunt small creatures, prairie frogs, and lizards, trail lizards, and things like that. Bears. You made a persuasion check, so you can get more information out of it.
We're over here at an X-rated version.
Yeah, clearly.
Lord.
17. Kind of listens to your words. I don't know what killed him. Maybe a sandals. Don't know. What was left? We harvested the meat, the organs, and inside of its belly, we found some. Not too far, just about 2 or 3 miles north out in the west.
What is your name?
My name is Tink. Tink.
Very nice to meet you.
You're welcome. It's the sound I make when I'm loading.
How far do you think we'll get with this wagon?
Maybe.
I'll trade it for you. Yeah.
It's useless to us.
If you can tear it apart, look at all the kinds of great things on it.
I don't know.
What's up, Dan?
You know that.
I'm looking for a skull with 4 feet. Yeah, I know. I thought I was pretty something. I want something 10 times better than that skull.
He watches, he turns to go talk to the others. Like, and they all gather around and he points to the wagon and he's really excited. They're already grabbing their tools off their belt to, like, go over to the wagon to pull it apart. You know, like, they're heading that way. But, you know, he calls them back. He, like, calls, yeah, he, like, calls them back.
I know what they do.
You're not going to need it anyway.
It's like talking to the other 6, and then finally one of the 6 says something and points to one of the carriers that's like closed up. And they all look at each other and they all kind of shrug their shoulders and go over and they pull the cloth away and they reach in and they pull out like a massive T-Rex skull out of the back of it. It's like this big around. It's like the entire weight of that thing. And they pull it out and they all talk about it. And they come trundling over as moving forward over to you and they place it down in front of you. Devilism. Devilism. Hey, son. Good luck. Say, grind the bones of this creature. Makes your penis hard. Your dick hard.
Deal.
Shakes your head. Ah, you just watch as a very
Stay away from it. It's mine.
you watch like Megan can barely pick it up.
This thing, like, probably would be like his, like,
And you can hear
Mars with, like, a
Richter
giant shield
yelling
on the
at the top of his voice as the wagon is swarmed with ratlings, with like hammers and wrenches, and they're like ripping the thing apart. Richter just backs away.
Oh,
Richter,
get our shit out.
yeah, I'll say at some point you guys kind of
Yeah, get her
all
out.
brush them away, and you guys start unpacking everything. You kind of untruss the horses and put the saddlebags up on the horses. So you've got 4 tack horses that will pull in the cargo. So you're able to have all the equipment on them that you want to take. So you have all your camping kit. But within an hour, as you guys repack everything onto the horses, the entire wagon's in pieces.
I would
Like,
say that I'd like to
every-
see the covering. For the door,
You want the covering,
the covering and like
the tarpaulin?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not no orc giver.
The orc giver.
We have
Rude.
Shut up. I gave him rude. I gave him the. I traded the Bardo. They get everything on it, even the canvas.
Queen Richter. He's like,
It takes-
We're just
Yeah,
being carried away by 4 of them.
Yeah, because he doesn't move or do anything. He's like,
He's
Whoa.
just being carried. We take big stuffed animal.
Yes.
Start walking away with it.
if you grind his bones,
All
it'll
right,
make him
I need
stiff like a board.
And you guys watch this maggot just lashes on the center saddlebag between the 2 heavy bags.
No, that's what I. That's why I wanted that
Like
canvas.
devil losers,
That's why I
like
used the
skull.
The door.
Okay.
To help him wrap that in.
Okay, that works. So he like brings the tarpaulin over and starts wrapping the skull and kind of cinching it to the saddlebag.
Same little thing, like, it gets pulled behind. Wrapped up.
You can make a litter for it if you want instead. Okay, you guys make a litter for it and make it a little bit easier to carry. Before long, you guys are just kind of walking up the road with your pack horses now and just waving goodbye to the ratlings. And they're just busy just creating these neat little piles out of the wagon. And they just start in town on it. They know their job.
awesome.
Bigger
bro.
skull
like
now, huh?
Fucking awesome.
You say that and you watch the huge litter.
And I'm sitting on top of the skull on the litter.
What's your new pie piece?
Mind you, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna leave something out.
hey. Start
And I'm just like
identifying that
scraping
shit.
some bone off, and then I look at my pants. Nothing.
It might take a while to bring it back. 3 to 6 weeks.
every day.
So you're gonna be at a slower pace, but that also depends on what route you're gonna take. You guys do have a local map of the area, and there are foot trails that lead away from the main path that will take you up into the plateauscape, deeper into the dunescape, that could cut some time off the travels.
We're supposed to come in from the north via the Madden Maze.
Mandy Mesa is going to be just on the other side of the border. You'll be in the Ashen Hills and the plateau region for a while at this point, if you decide to go into the plateaus directly.
They found this.
We don't know.
Stalker.
Maggot look at this. You're going to give him the force.
Yeah, technically we do. Okay, Jason, this is what I want to have happen. I wanted it to where when I put the T-Rex skull on my head, I'm morphing your T-Rex.
Well, first of all, it's the size of your thigh.
I know, but I just put it on. Then my body grows up from the bottom of it into a skeletal T-Rex.
Put something on the ground.
Tiny
and
little
crawl.
Except my arms remain the same
You
size.
look like my son, giant head, tiny arms.
With a little bowler hat.
And I hit things in my head. And little Jeff Goldblum shows up.
I mean, he'll have to see a little side saddle too.
I mean,
There might be, but
make 2 litters.
yeah, you could make a litter for him instead if you wanted to.
Do you think I care about your comfort?
Conversation.
Every conversation.
Half dragon on a rock.
studied at night.
Or you can now. What it does.
You're like there's double as bad. You're a one pump joke.
I don't like the way she does it.
Fine.
I didn't even take one of
Fine,
the
so it
skull.
looks like you need a new pillow.
I'd take that gold teeth skull away from her as punishment and give it to me. 'Cause I mean, I got pissed.
So as you guys kind of spend the remainder of the daylight hours, are you sticking on the main road, using the foot trails? Which route are you taking?
The most dangerous thing possible.
That's pretty much foregone conclusion. You're on your way to the most dangerous place in the eastern Lunaria. So
The foot trails will cut time off of our friction.
And the easier way to go for the horses.
that would be the main path. You know, most likely to
Take the main path and go to
the sun hanging off in the edge of the horizon, dipping down. The day comes to an end. Do you guys want to push through, or do you want to find a place to camp?
Is there
I mean, it's pretty wide open at this point. I mean, there's plenty of empty space along the side of the road, too.
any place that looks comfortable?
There are no trees.
Any place that looks comfortable?
Not really. Just rolling dunes on either side of you.
How long was that?
It's been a few hours.
It was about midday. when we
Yeah,
bumped
something
into
Yeah.
it.
Okay. I think
Short rest. Long rest. Okay. How long are your long rest? 8 hours? 4 hours? Okay.
Oh.
But hand it out like crazy, and it
Do whatever you need to
pass
do.
out. Okay. 4 hours later, you guys are now looking for a campsite. It's dark. With one exception, Atmo is definitely lit up. The underside of it, that kind of bluish hue of the luminary stone is underneath it. The huge, with the massive parapets of the upper strata of the city can be seen. Lights and streaks of lights leading, covering the lights. A little bit further. I mean, it's pretty far from where you are. I mean, you know for a fact, looking at where Atmo is, it's a day. It's the visual perspective always makes it more so. It's one of the things that's good about that.
It's 15 plus 6 is 21.
Okay. There is a section off the main path where the dunes kind of get a little bit taller and create like a little kind of cut. You know, you can even see burnt stones. It looks like somebody's, you know,
Oh,
in the
perfect.
past
Someone's
used it
already
as a
been here.
campsite.
So that's where we'll.
Okay. Pull the horses in, and you guys begin to set up camp. By the time they've started setting up camp, you're at the end of your long rest, so you would wake up in the dark. Campfire. Do you guys get a campfire going? Are you setting up a full camp, or what do you do?
I just go to a corner and start looking at the shit.
I think
Okay.
keeping a low profile at this
It's kind of
point is
like
probably
bring
the
out your
best thing.
bedroll and like crisscross
Low
on it and
profile is
start.
Like cold
It's not-
rations tonight, no fire.
It's not cold, right?
It's chilly but not cold.
Yeah. So
Okay.
don't need a fire.
Okay. Richter like hangs small ember glowing lanterns to give at least a little bit of light for those that might need it to come in and out of camp, but nothing too difficult.
Yeah, I'll set up the our camping pot. Can you
Phyllis, water.
This is knocking me out right now.
Sure. Water.
Fills it up with water.
Keep metal.
Starts bubbling over.
Start. Some sausages. Just start making dinner.
Okay. So you're cooking the evening's meal. You, what are the halflings in a trench coat doing with their evening?
I was thinking with the snow.
Oh my God, I'll fucking kill you. How is it that you have the only chair that's louder than your brain? I'm so bored. Just roll ones. Just roll ones.
Let me go get faster.
No, just
Are you
no
getting
rolls
back?
high enough no rolls high enough. It's like, okay, I got a 26. Okay, you fail.
You
and
fail, yeah. You take 99
99
million
points of
points of
You actually turned into atoms.
You are disintegrated.
Okay, I roll a new character. No, that's okay. We don't need you anymore.
Look at that.
So you're cooking dinner. What are you doing with your evening?
Hans now we're gonna go and go to the gym. Like I want Hans to kind of like tinker with some gyms, like putting him into a shape, basically. Or
Sure. Give me. You have tools, so you can give me sleight of hand with advantage because you do have some tools as you kind of just tinker with some of the uncut stones.
because I know I want Hans to doing that because he's got proficiency. Okay, so 19 plus 5 right there, but I'm gonna roll another just kidding. Oh, it's a
Hi, Bess.
but it was
What
like
are you doing, my son?
Ooh.
I'm putting it on to mommy, Dad. That's what I'm doing.
So 24.
24. Which ones is he working on?
I'm probably gonna go with. I gave him the sapphire and the emerald. So there's one sapphire still left, and I want to try this.
Two of those because you have 3 sapphire.
No,
There's 3.
3 sapphire.
Yep.
Oh, I thought I only gave you 1 sapphire. Okay, so
Not one. The emerald for one eye and sapphire.
the other. Okay, so at least I have 2 sapphires. Okay, so the 2. He's gonna mess with the 2 sapphires and
Okay.
Sorry.
half of the
happy.
turquoise. We'll try that because she's got the diamonds.
Allergies.
Is it?
Oh, your
Is it a
allergies?
noisy thing? Is it a noisy thing? What they're doing?
Not really. I mean, you can hear. You can hear him like.
Would I notice it?
I mean, you notice that he's working on a couple of the gems that he had traded.
Oh, he can form the eyeballs
Yeah.
for you if you want.
10 large uncut sapphires.
Hans is all like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Where'd those come from?
From the mine.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So
9. I think I gave one away.
So
You did.
I
You
gave
did
one
gave
away.
one away, so he
9.
9.
So 9 sapphire.
Yep.
And they ate it.
Yes, they ate it.
Still, I'm gonna have one
I'll
blue
hand
eye
you-
and one
I'll hand
green.
you the diamonds too.
I mean, Hans is just gonna be like,
I mean,
Yeah, take it back.
maybe a couple stones a night could be worked on. It's delicate work.
he'll still hold on, just like hold
Okay.
up all that stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like he'll just slowly start. What do you want to be? Hans is gonna like, what do you want them in? Do you want them in a shape? What am I doing?
I mean, really, the 2 main things he can do is either make them faceted or he can make them into components because those are both different outcomes.
I need mine in components.
Make half of them
Into components.
make half of them valuable, and half them into components. Err on the side of valuable. So 5 and 4.
Hot dogs and blueberries.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that's going to be a squishy evening. Hot dogs and blueberries. Oh, goodies. All I had to do was just come home to eat, huh?
The whole week in Minnesota, she barely ate. He just wanted to nurse the entire
Make
day.
them faceted in
Kept
my
turning down
skull.
food.
As soon as he gets home, eating like a pig.
It's comfort food.
Oh yeah, being on mommy's lap and playing my tabby and eating my foods. So, is it Hans or Alva that's working on them?
That's Hans working on it.
Okay.
He's the handy
Yeah.
kind of person.
So, sleight of hand
Hans is
to
handsy.
work on
Hans is
them.
handy.
Have Hans give me a dexterity save as he works with the stones.
Sandpaper.
Do you want tissue?
Oh no, it's even better. 18 plus 5. 18
23?
plus 23.
So he's doing a pretty good job of manipulating, and I'll say as long as he focuses on just 2 of the sapphires,
Yeah.
he can get them cut pretty decently.
So we'll just do 2 per night. The 2
Mom was getting
Okay.
us.
And he cuts them to trades value.
What did you do? Here, let's do Elmo.
Fire. Trade.
His face.
Look at
So
that.
cute.
You're already good. Let's do
I think, like, because it's like even if they're not in not value, but just trying to turn him into a shape because he wants
Yeah.
his eyeballs.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of in like a kind of
Wanna go like
optic
this?
shape
No?
that he
You wanna
wants.
like this?
Sure.
Okay, so 'cause
Yeah.
that would be the 1 emerald and 1 sapphire.
Okay. And I would say because he at least shaped them and he's collected the dust and the chippings from them as well and kind of stashed those away. And by the end of the evening, before his long rest, he'll have 2 relatively decently round shaped stones.
Okay. So now he'll be like.
Aw.
Cool. Yeah, I kind
I
of like
didn't-
lodge them in
Knock
there a
on
bit.
wood, I did not get allergies this summer. Strangest thing. I don't know if
I
it's
got
the
a couple
increased
bad bouts,
humidity
but
that
this
did
was
it.
like killing me.
Because humidity, that I hate humidity, the heat,
Those are
but it's not dry enough to give me allergies. So
Like they're wet.
yeah, they're for little babies.
That'd be perfect for me. Because when you're old, you go back to being a baby.
So to keep, while the rest of
have,
the camp
like,
is busy
17
either
types.
cooking, working on small gems, and you have the 3 things. You have the hand, you have the eye in the little yellow gelatin, and you have the
Powder.
The skull
and the skull.
Yeah,
The 2.
and the
and
powder
the
thing.
incense.
Yeah, the little copper holder for incense. Yeah, you have one of those as well. That didn't really give off magic. It just, you notice it was coated with like remnants of luminary dust.
I attuned to my T-Rex skull.
Because here's shaman chants over by
Just a straight goblin.
maggots like bedroll.
Oh.
There's a half naked. There's a half naked
I have
maggot like
grass
dancing
skirt.
around
I have a
it.
grass skirt on and like a wooden mask, and I'm
You just stole the one that I wear.
Now you see like some of your clothes
Torches.
cut up into a costume.
He does like a Mari dance.
That's it. You find some of your clothing cut up into my. I use some of your clothing to cut up into my outfit.
Why I wasn't going to wear that vest again.
The green shirt now has like
There's
rose
like
down the
a
back.
there's like a group of bandits like far away from you guys with their telescope out.
Don't fuck
they're-
with those guys. They're nuts.
Nah, move on. They drink and eat bad food water. Move on.
Those guys are bad news. They eat oatmeal.
Nothing but oatmeal.
You're like dancing around the skull, throwing oatmeal up in the air. Casting the only spell you know.
Yeah.
I hate to keep. I hate to keep.
She stole my skull. She stole my skull. I'm gonna steal my skull back.
So which one do you want to identify first?
Can we say I asked where the copper thing came from? I thought it was like
I think
a
it- I
magic
think-
thing.
Right, no,
It
I
showed up on
gotcha.
my detect.
We'll retcon that a bit. Your persuasion probably would. Well, give me a persuasion check to see how much they would have shared with you.
Okay. Guidance 12. That's a 6.
Well, you still have that.
So it's a 4. Bardic Inspiration's a 6.
Or is that one already gone?
Although you do have a bardic inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
15.
No, that was from after.
Yeah, it was after
Yeah, we stopped.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
15.
They would have described a abandoned pit mine that they found it
I would have asked what general direction.
in. They would have described it on the other side of the plateau, on the about a day's journey due west, along the border region of the Central Wastes. And they described like a pit mine that was partially exposed against the edge of the plateau and the sand as well.
Oh yeah.
What'd you take for it?
Was there a name for that region?
Not
Just
really,
hit me
just the
before
border
I got here,
regions
so I'm
of the
taking
Central
it.
Waste and the edge of the plateau.
Other side of the plateau,
Yeah,
on the
very
edge of the.
The Central
It'd be
Waste
like that every
borders.
week and not like that.
It's true.
Something in the air.
Thank you.
Oh Lord.
Well,
God
the shirt
said no.
went to Minnesota, so it could be Minnesota. Too.
True.
Oh my god, he just raised an
Minnesotans are
eyebrow at
dirty
his tablet.
Probably.
He totally just raised an eyebrow at his
Ignorant,
tablet.
barbarous, and cruel.
I'm gonna. I would have asked him. Try to suss out if the pit mine was shaped like a crater.
He would have said no, bit more like it was purposely done. An actual active mine that was just abandoned. And he also would have described that his people go there from time to time to salvage bits of abandoned equipment and other things that would be there.
Got it. Someplace to
Eat
check
your hot
out
dog.
later. Thank you.
Eat some hot dogs.
So of the items that you
Start
were
with the damn skull.
okay.
You know what? No. I'm starting with the necromancy
The hand in the jar.
because
The hand in the jar.
Because my lust for power is a little bit.
That's
on
fair.
there, so.
And you're using the identify spell, right?
Oh no,
Identify?
I'm spending an hour with it.
Oh, you're gonna spend an hour. So
yeah,
you're
I
gonna,
don't have I don't
we
have
don't have
the
identify.
spell identified.
gotcha.
You
So
can ritual cast it.
We don't have.
he
it
doesn't have the
yet.
spell at all yet.
We're not high enough.
Richter might
Hello,
be.
Bubba.
Does Richter have it?
Oh, here,
No.
let's watch
Not that
babies.
kinda
You wanna watch
high. The other
babies?
kinda
Sit
high.
back. No.
It's like this Rick. Oh,
Those
wrong kind of high.
good. Yeah, that's one of those things. I've seen those before. Cool.
He's sitting over there just watching the Atmo lights coming and going.
Whoa.
So the hand. Give me an Arcana check though, if you would, for the hand.
And you have been,
Yes, with a D6, right?
yes.
There he is.
Look at his face. Honey.
21.
He's just keeping an eye out. He's over by the horses, feeding them and bedding them down for the night and keeping an eye out on the perimeter of the camp at this point.
Let's see. How else we got?
He has
21.
flame blood.
21. The hand is a summoner's hand. Once you attune to it, once per day, you can summon a simple skeleton. It's not a creature designed for attack or purposes of.
Body servant.
It's basically something that you can use as a chore. It can carry things or fetch things or.
You need it.
It's like unseen
That's good-
servant,
that's
but
good
it's
for
seen
you.
servant.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Kind
how
of like
big-
an
how big
unseen
is this
servant, only
jar?
you can see it. Yeah.
How big is this jar?
Oh, it's small little jar, small little shrunken hand inside of it.
And how long
It's
does
like,
do I
it's probably
think
like
it
a
lasts?
goblin skeleton.
Lasts up to an hour.
Okay, thank you.
And the jar is the base of the magical component, and it feeds off of the necromancy of the hand. So when you invoke servant on the jar, a kind of like a skeleton like just kind of forms out of the jar. The jar then disappears, and then after an hour, it'll be a jar again.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Now for the what's next?
The skull.
Skull. Go ahead and give me Arcana check again, please.
I only got the one, right?
Show me my book.
14.
14. As you begin to examine the skull, the magic focus of the skull is the gold teeth, like the embodiment of the spell, the effect. It is a speak with dead skull, and you can use it once per day if you choose to. It does require attunement as well.
Like 2 gold teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 gold teeth.
Well, on the same jawline.
Oh, okay, because I was like,
Yeah.
there's 2 gold I'm all like, was this an inspiration?
Okay.
I can do that without
I
having
share
to
that
do it.
information with you guys.
And then the last thing is the little eyeball yellow gelatinous liquid.
And the delay.
Guidance.
Guidance in the 6th, right? Or the 4th?
It's so cute.
23.
23?
23.
23. It is a potion of astral eye. And it can be used once. Sorry, potion of arcane eye.
Arcane.
That's funny, yeah.
And I share
You
that
swallow the
information
liquid
with
in
you.
the eyeball, and for an hour, you have the ability of arcane eye.
I think that's all worth water.
And a wagon, a couple daggers,
The wagon
some
was
sausages, some rope.
different. The wagon was different.
The wagon was just an exposition of Maggot's anger.
Yeah.
At least we still have the horses.
All right, Maggot. The skull is a speak with dead skull.
Awesome. I'll
That means I
take
can
it.
talk to you after I slit your throat.
Actually, it's just the teeth. You might be able to.
Oh my God!
The,
it's
the
just
teeth are the magic, but the like the stasis, what
There's-
makes it work is the skull.
I could probably fuck around and find out a way.
I was
to do
gonna
that.
say,
Potentially, yeah.
if we take the teeth out of the skull and put them in Baroque's skull,
That means I could use it twice a day.
Certainly try.
No.
Not going to, but
Then I'm half owner of your head. And I
What was
can
that? You
use it
wanted to give me
anytime
head?
I
And you
want.
watch as Naked Maggot takes off his no.
I'll trade him for
Stop
the
your
T-Rex.
naked dance and come eat the stew.
And now
I'm like using one of my arms.
like out of fear, he's propped open the mouth of the T-Rex skull. He's got his bedroll in it, so it's almost like a little hovel, so he could sleep inside the skull.
Yeah, I got like a little stick holding up the jaw.
Yeah, and there's like a little lantern in the eye socket.
I jump on it. I jump on it to the platform.
Josh. So what's the watch? Order of the watch.
I'll take the first watch. I slept so I could, I took that. My
Okay,
long
so
rest
you're
I
on
could
first
stay-
watch.
stay
Who's
up
on
all night.
second?
I'll take
You usually take last watch, right? Because you don't actually sleep.
I'll be with. The.
Last is third.
Oh no.
Yeah. You can take a watch with them if you want. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll stay up for first and second with.
I'm on second.
You're on second?
I'm with
first.
Second.
Okay, you're with her on second.
Yeah.
So who's
He's
on first?
I'm first.
And on
With
second.
probably me and Richter, then me and.
Gotcha. So give me perception checks
He's the
for the
pitcher.
first round of the watch. You do have to meditate. You do require meditation.
Do you
That's
and,
why I passed out during that.
You want to do you and Richter?
And Baruch is a 14. You said perception?
Yep.
So 14 plus 2 is 16 for him, and that's a 2.
Is that what Richter got?
He's on
The
grass.
life.
He's like, I've never been this close to Atma before.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa.
Check it out.
knows
Wait. Dude, check this out.
Everything's
He brings out his flame blade. Check me out.
the
When,
naked
when
boar
he's
starts
sleeping, I
dancing.
steal all of his stash and throw the fire
And
Just
goes
to
all
watch him.
high.
just to watch him.
There is. We didn't make
Twist
it
in the
though.
wind.
Watch him
That's
get
the thing.
Jones.
We didn't set a fire. There was no fire.
That's
So I
fine.
made-
I
I
just throw
used
it in the
heat
dirt.
metal. You think that's gonna stop him?
The forge for more.
So as you and Richter are on your watch, Richter's a little distracted by everything and the environment.
He's vacuuming.
Uh,
I was gonna say, wow, that got really scary for a second. Then,
Yeah.
oh wait, it's just.
the general kind of like the environment is kind of like just checking it out, and there's a moment like in the silence of the watch, when everyone's like either meditating or sleeping,
Let's see.
the lanterns are the only kind of like dim light that give off, that you spot something, like you spot a silhouette of something kind of just
Eat your food.
like land on the outskirts of the camp, and it waddles a little closer, and you recognize it as Belfry.
Sausage.
Okay.
Sausage.
Like hairballs it and,
Yeah.
and then flies away again.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Mom. I was watching Ivar be a grandpa on the other tablet. Other than that,
That's
the watch
around.
goes by with no particular problem, but you definitely saw Belfry during your watch.
Okay.
So who's on second watch? Okay, so you wake up Talia for the second.
I just like drag Richter over because he's probably already passed out. Ooh, that looked like a double punch. He's like, ha! Superman.
I got a double pump of excitement. As Talia wakes up for the second watch, give me perception checks.
No.
It's not Monday night game.
14.
Okay,
19.
19. Between the two of you, you can't help but notice that every now and then you see Belfry kind of circling. Off in the
Passive
distance,
perception.
you hear screeches, like very distant, far away, almost like pack-like screeches of sand raptors, kind of like communicating with each other, and then they kind of drift off even further away from the campsite. Other than that, no, nothing noticeable.
Before the end of that watch,
You fly, take a look around.
Yep.
Give me perception with advantage before you go into your meditative state for the remainder of it.
Manage.
What'd you get?
Ooh, that first one was a 1. That is another 14.
On the 14? I mean, every now and then, the crackle and screech of the predatory creatures of the dunes, but nothing coming close to the camp as far as you can tell. So, to keep final watch.
With Alba.
I
because
go-
I'm
Alba?
exhausted.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, from
There we go.
shaping stones.
Yeah, then as I go to lay down, I just lay on top of the T-Rex skull.
19.
19?
24.
What do you do, buddy?
24.
Because it's 19 plus 5.
During your guys' watch,
Oh no.
Alva's on watch, right?
Yes, Alba's on watch.
Alva comes over to you and takes you over to something that she's found. There are at least 4 sets of tiny little footprints that look like they came into the camp area. And then you could see open bags. You could see open boxes. You can see the saddlebags have been unbuckled.
Again?
What do you want for dinner?
I mean, again,
Good.
Yeah.
What do you want
when
for
did that
dinner?
last happen?
We had that mirror stolen off of the elephant.
Oh, well, that was a
What do you want
specific.
for dinner?
Well, yeah, I guess you guys aren't very good at this. But they're very, very tiny
What do you want for
footprints.
dinner?
Like,
Hey, Richter, what kind of footprints are these?
What?
What kind of footprints are these?
Have them make a nature check.
Go with that. Look, it's a 20. Go with that.
yeah, no, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
No, go with that. That's a 20.
Was it advantage?
No,
Yeah, no. Got a 5 plus 2.
doesn't recognize them. I don't know. I've never seen them before.
Yeah,
You said it was
I rolled a 15.
You look at them, they're too small to be rattling tracks. They're webbed, so they're reptilian. Could be kobold, but God, that would be small. They definitely look like they came in upright, but then left on all fours.
Is the skull still there?
You have your possession.
No, I mean the big.
Oh, the big
is
skull's
sleeping.
still there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Things
I'm laying
like
on top of it now.
Food are missing. Like the dozen empty bags are missing. Some length of rope is missing. Like they took a lot of like just miscellaneous items from the general equipment kit.
Okay.
Doesn't look like they got anything precious or valuable. But you can see you haven't woken anyone else up, so other than you two and Richter. But you can see the 4 sets of now combined 8 sets now of like just these little tiny footprints disappear into the dark.
Because the fact that I found them, could I roll to see if I know what they were? It would be nature or it would be
It'd be nature. See if you recognize them.
You got
So fucking
No.
stink eye.
No. I have no idea what they are.
Where'd you get a 1? 4? Yeah, I mean they don't look familiar to you.
Well,
I
plus a
mean,
1, so a 5, but still.
yeah. I mean you get an idea, but kobolds that small would be unlikely. Yeah, they're probably roughly about
They look what,
18 to 20 inches tall.
like frilled lizard type thingies, probably.
Where were you?
Hard to know.
Well, I was well.
Just now rolled a 20. Great.
Okay.
Anything you guys want to do?
Which
before
way
you-
did they go?
It looks like they head due west in the general direction of the dunes
play
that
with
lead
it, like,
towards the
I
plateaued area.
Okay.
So other than
No, I'll keep an eye out specifically on that direction. If his eyeglass is hanging around, I'll pop it out and look in that
I think you have to
direction.
attune to it though. To use
He's
it.
undead.
I'm gonna-
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You don't have to attune. You pick it up and kind of like start scanning the horizon. Give me perception. It's dark. Normally with it you'd have advantage, but since it's dark, it's regular.
My dog's here.
4. Yeah,
Four-
I mean,
4+.
yeah, you're like checking the horizon that you think they went in, but no sign.
Yeah, it's dark.
I didn't notice anything else other than wall footprints.
No, that was it.
I
And
was
the,
gonna be like,
Are they lizard fairies?
Did you get them all?
before long, you guys can feel the sun coming up. All of you begin to stir from either your meditative or sleepy states, and
Hans, keep
You're
the
now
mic close
on
to you.
day 2 of your journey
tell
in the
us?
direction of the border area
Can
of
they tell us
Char.
about it?
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll be like, look at the shiny
Check-
footprints.
Check your belongings. Let's do a quick inventory of everything. Make sure we're not missing anything
What
important.
am I missing?
The healing potions are still on our.
Yeah, you're
persons and
missing a
shit.
day's worth of rations.
Why are we missing stuff?
18.
Something came in.
18. You recognize them as Oswalds.
The Hecker Oswald.
They are these kind of cross between reptiles and gerbils. They're these little kind of
So what happens when a
creatures.
lizard fucks a hamster?
Yeah, it's like their skin is
Maggot
furry.
would like 'em.
Like their
Maggot
skin
likes
is
them.
furry. They've got like a head that's
Eat it.
an amalgamated reptile snout with kind of like a furry
Spit in your mouth.
featured face. They're sentient. I mean, they're nomadic and they're scavengers. They kind of
Sentience tastes better than.
I'm just putting reptile vermins.
they're Oswalds.
Really?
What'd you try to give them? Blueberry? No, maybe it's the texture. It does get a little wonky with texture sometimes.
Are you gonna be
You gonna be okay there, princess?
Yeah, go ahead. My eyes will swell shut soon. Like,
It looked to be about
Shower,
anywhere from
shower,
8 to 10 of them
Ooh, Maggot is
came
very
in,
high. Okay.
came into the general area of the camp.
Okay, yeah. Check everything. Make sure you're not missing anything.
So you're missing a day's worth of food, about 10 feet of rope, and miscellaneous kind of like camping gear. Iron stakes, a hammer, small shovel, very little minor odds and ends.
Yeah.
Toilet paper.
Paper done.
We're like,
Hot dog
huh?
breath,
There's
boy.
like one eye missing.
One of the things I want to do is we're talking about it, but fit
big dog.
the gems into the
Is that
There's
big
a
dog?
sockets,
Put them in the
and then
Take some
Does that
mud
happen?
and make
No.
fake eyes.
no. I'm gonna take some pieces of bone
Okay,
and start casting bending around them.
Okay.
Hold them in there.
gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. You
You're
can do
gonna
that
make
while.
noise when you walk now. Rattle,
You're
rattle,
gonna look
rattle.
like
Hey, bro, come
But
here.
now,
Yes.
no, it's even better.
No,
It's,
never mind.
it's gonna be even better because again, there's that arcane glow from my eye
Yeah.
now, kind of is diffused a bit through the.
That's fair. While camp is being kind of bundled up and put away on saddlebags and stuff, you guys stare and look at a very bizarre Baroque who's fused the gems into his sockets and
Hans is just gonna touch one of the goes.
You just hear that grinding sound. Ow! Ow! Stop it!
How is it hurting you? He's just
Ow! Ow! Ow!
so as you guys pack up for day 2, what trek are you taking? Continue on the road
I believe so.
for the most part? Okay. Somebody give me a D20, please.
There we go. There's your D20. Oh,
Day 4.
That's
On day
4.
A 4?
a 4 on day 4.
Yeah, day 4 since you've left the city, day 2 since you've left the caravan at this point. Does anyone tell Maggot that you saw a belfry?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, because I saw. Did I see Belfry too?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
I would have
when
pointed
you
it out.
stayed up with
That was
Baruch.
the
and-
second one. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
rat.
I fed your bat.
Why?
Oh, thanks.
So Belfry's doing what you told her to. She's following.
She didn't take much of your blood, did she?
Nah, she ate some of my sausage though.
Oh, okay.
Is.
She didn't mind the taste of dirt.
Yeah.
No, she got the flavored
She eats
ones.
kobolds. What do you
You gave
expect?
her the flavored ones. I'd have given her the dirt ones.
No, I give the dirt ones to people we don't know. I give the flavored ones.
That's what
to
happens when you have too many grandpas in the room.
Oh,
most of the people. Nice.
He really is a sucker, isn't he?
Okay, it's a big truck.
You're Batman.
Yeah.
You're Batman.
Like it's either a big truck, someone with a lot of speakers, or someone with a very small piece.
No, every now and then semi trucks will pop in to drop off parts for the collision place.
It could also be like RV because we get
There's an RV repair place in the back. So with that, as you guys begin the journey of day 2 since leaving the caravan, everyone give me perception checks. at this point.
Everyone?
He's a cackler too. Yeah, everyone perception.
9 for Baruch.
No.
22.
I've never been so happy to have.
careful.
Baruch got 9. Richter got.
All right. Okay.
Just hand them.
All right. Settle down. There you go.
Oh, crap.
There you go.
Oh
Good.
crap.
Richter got 15.
He's
That's
never
a
known what
living
baby in his life
creature.
problem.
15 for Richter.
Yep.
What'd you get? 24.
Hold it.
What'd you get, Maggot?
A 9.
9.
I'm too
Keith,
obsessed
what'd
with
you
my
get?
skull.
Skeet, what'd you get for perception?
4.
4.
We're gonna get attacked. people.
Oh, hook your eye out.
We got our heads up our asses on this route here. Oh my god!
Like gyps, you got no reds.
What the hell is Hammett got? It's probably the homeless people I'm allergic to.
I mean, the winds are really bad right now, so whatever's in bloom is spread all over.
But this is the worst attack I've had like
In a while.
in a long time.
Yeah.
No, Uncle Bill. No.
It's probably those. Are you allergic to grass? Because there's those sod farms, and they cut that stuff all the time.
Or am I just being
I have no idea.
So you guys are trundling along, and there's a moment when you guys hear like a pick, and you look over to see a small dart sticking out of the top of Baruch's head.
oh but
And then suddenly coming out of the dunes to your right, just like clouds of darts. I need everyone to give me deck saves, please.
I was supposed to Alva like saw that ahead of time, right?
Nope.
Nope. Of course.
Not with 9s, 4s, 9s, and
Did you
15.
steal? Where you going? Where you going? Where you
There's a
going?
group effort.
Where do you think you're
17.
going?
Don't let me
17.
be a eraser.
You dodge and
Where you
kind of
go?
like get behind, you get your shield up, kind of, you can hear like kind of petering off of the 19, or like you're dodging them, and
I got behind the skull.
every now and then a dart's like sticking into you. But take half of 8 points of piercing damage. Take half of 8 points. Of piercing.
Richter got 19.
Okay.
And 23.
So take half of 8 points of piercing. Richter will take half of 8 points. What'd you get?
15, but I also have the magic belt with +1 AC, so I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
That doesn't help with saves. But you'll take 8 points of piercing. Maggot, what'd you get?
On what?
Deck save.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
19.
19. You take half of 8 points of piercing damage as these clouds of darts just kind of rain in for a
Take
few
8 or
minutes.
half of it.
You take 8 because you didn't save.
Don't eat. Don't eat. It's already
Clouds of darts coming in, and like they're like needles, and like they don't feel like they're toxic. And then suddenly
Where you going?
the clouds of darts kind of stop, and on the edge where they all came from, you see this kobold. He gets up on a big dune, and he's got this shamanistic skull on his face. He's got this spear.
That's cool, too.
You can see a blow dart gun like
Who's
on
gonna
his
get it?
chest. Um,
Oh, thanks.
Do you want?
you notice that along the edge of the dune, there's maybe a dozen or so more kind of a skull-like heads kind of popping up, and you can hear laughing and kind of chittering among the kobolds that are like hiding behind the dunes. And the big one steps forward. Give us the toll for pass.
What's the toll?
What do you got?
How
Have
about
sausages.
we'll let you walk out of here alive?
We have water and food.
Clearly, you are
We
not
don't
leader
have
of
a
your
lot
clan.
water and food.
Undead man, leader of clan. You have food.
Yes. It's not tasty, but it's food.
How many foods you
Give
have?
him the oatmeal.
However
I have
much
a-
else wants to have.
Bag of oatmeal, 50 pounds.
Oatmeal. What is oatmeal?
You mix water
It's
with
good
it.
food.
You heat it up.
Good food.
And- Fills you up.
You can put anything
Give me
you
a
want in.
persuasion check.
Hey, if you add cockroaches,
Guidance.
it gives a little crunch to it because you'll get tired of it after a while. But you put a little, some cockroaches, worms,
Okay, I have better
it's really good.
You sure you don't want me to?
Good persuasion
No,
check.
it's his persuasion.
Oh.
He's the one talking.
Nat
Nine.
20.
At
Is
20.
that with
So-
guidance?
Hang on, yeah, I did guidance myself.
Why?
Okay, so that's better. I said 9, 13.
Okay. So I'll say between the two of you, with both Maggot and Baruch,
Oh, wait, that was a 12 I rolled.
between Baruch and
So
Maggot,
wait,
kind of like,
let me recount that. 16 plus 7.
okay.
So, yeah, 20.
Really recommend dice you can read.
You know what? It landed like that. And all I
Pretty
saw was
dice,
the
but you
2.
can't read it
I
for
saw the
shit.
2. You saw it. Too.
Yeah, I thought you did it. I thought you rolled the 2 because it was.
So as you guys kind of
Yeah,
watch
12.
these two walk towards the kobold, compared to Baruch, the kobold's pretty small, but equal height
Bless you.
to
Thank
you
you.
know to Maggot. Two of you stop in front of the kobold, and you could see like what Alva saw was like a dozen heads, kind of like looking up like that. Beyond them, there's like 3 or 4 dozen more kobolds, and this pack leader kind of like in his shamanistic attire. Food for trade. Toll. You pay toll with food. Sausages.
Sausages.
We got a lot of oatmeal.
Oatmeal and sausages. Many mouths. And he turns he turns towards his people behind him. They all they chant up in his direction,
Like
and then
the
turns back towards you two.
Ice Age, the mini set.
Yeah. Sausages and oatmeal. You got water? Water. Water, sausage, and oatmeal. You said water for oatmeal, right?
I
Yeah.
did, yes.
You can put anything in it. Sometimes I mix beer with it.
We don't have beer.
Like in the whole, like the other 48 kobolds,
Oh.
like in unison. Just-
But I can do sausages in the oatmeal.
If you're
Could you
worthy
sell
of our
water?
God, I guess we could give you some sausages.
you have God.
I unwrapped the T-Rex skull.
You watch as they all drop to their knees, except for the shaman. The shaman walks up to the T-Rex skull. Devil lizard, eat our people all the time. Did you kill this devil lizard?
Well, not just me.
Inspiration.
The other guys,
Bardigan's version.
they all helped. But yeah, we all.
Intimidation or persuasion, your choice.
Which one's higher?
Buzzbeer.
Blasphemer. You
What
watch
is it,
as this huge
persuasion or
T-Rex
what?
comes lumbering
No,
out of
it
the
was,
dunes.
Persuasion or-
Intimidation or persuasion.
Yes, either
It
or.
doesn't matter. It's-
Well, it does because if
I
you do
Would it be
persuasion, the outcome's different.
Would it
If you
be
do
special
intimidation?
Wait, wouldn't it be instead of
outcome's
persuasion?
I'll do persuasion. You gonna
Not
give me a bardic
necessarily
inspiration?
because they are very like evangelical kobolds. Plus, you have a D6 for bardic inspiration.
He rolled it, and
Okay.
guidance did.
Not the greatest.
Well, you have a huge prop.
I got a 10,
A
but I have a
10?
prop.
I give him just advantage?
I'll say the group's helping you,
Okay.
kind of like pull this con, so you can have advantage on the roll.
Come on, buddy. Fucking.
You
Then I
remember
rolled a
when you
5.
Cursed him like an hour
So-
ago.
Yeah.
And guess what happened?
That's for a
So I got
reason.
a 13.
13.
Yeah.
That beat the 12.
Okay.
So you're not overly convincing, but they are
It's enough.
mesmerized by the size of the skull and the fact that what's been plaguing their people wherever they go is like here they can see the dead
Really?
evil god in their own minds, right? So the shaman like approaches
Oh, come on, dude.
approaches the skull
Gotta go 9.
and reaches into a bag on his belt and starts pulling out paints. And he starts ritualistically putting on these like arcane like images and dashes and letters. And he starts cautiously painting the skull with these different paints and pigments. And within a few moments, it's just this well decorated kind of T-Rex skull now, where he's just like emblazoned it with all this arcane writing. And he comes over and he pulls out his staff and he shakes it to the followers. Offerings! Bring offerings to the god killer. And you watch as one by one the kobolds come up and in a small pile in front of the skull start dropping off just like dried rabbit turd or like half a bent copper piece or a handful of needles or a blowgun and a few coins, a few tidbits, a few trinkets, and a few things. Before long, there's this like nice little healthy pile of like offerings in front of it. And then the dozen or so that linger with the shaman leader. So food, water, oatmeal.
While all that's been happening, I've just been sausage.
Okay. You look at the growing pile of sausage, and he sends them all over for that. Sends them over to Richter to get the bag of oatmeal.
And he's also
He's reaching into your thing.
Let me guess. You told him no.
I said it was sharp.
He doesn't like
Sorry, buddy.
that. Next time, just let him lop his
Bill, you're
finger
the
off.
worst.
I'm gonna have them get containers
Okay.
and
They have
Did he
like
sever your
they have
finger?
carriers, little water skins they keep on their
I
belt.
will fill out their
Before long, you have a shaman decorated skull now from the main kobold.
Hey, I can't
There's
hear
a
what your
nice-
dad's saying.
Pile of trinkets in front of it, and you guys are just kind of waving by to the 48 or so kobolds that are just
Before you go, real quick, is there anything we should be wary of ahead of us?
yeah, more kobolds, and they start laughing and trundling off into the dunes.
Okay, fine. Well, we got a way out now.
You're
not
just gonna
wrong.
Wear it over. You're just. It's all tricky.
Oh, it's too big for you to wear. I mean, it's basically like you could like sleep inside of it if you wanted.
But I could put it on one of the
I
horses.
know.
I put it on one of the horses and then cover it with like a tarp.
I got a better
And
idea.
put two
I got
stick,
it. Wait,
big
wait.
stick
We
arms
have
on the
4
front of the
horses,
horse.
right?
What's that?
You
What's
do
that?
have 4 pack
What's
horses.
that Irish thing? They have the reindeer skull on a pole. That they
Oh,
go
yeah.
around on a holiday.
And I have 2 sticks that look like the little stubby arms on the front of the horse. That when it walks,
What-
I go
what
What
time
if we
bandits?
take
Yeah.
the lead? What if we take the in your little outfit.
Your little skull palanquin.
Yeah, there you go.
Why don't we find the rest of it?
I don't know.
That'd be cool. Would it be mine?
I got one up there.
All right.
Don't trust him.
You guys are
Is there a
needles
wizard running
out
on
of
the
your
back?
body, picking them out of the horses.
Fainting because of the poison.
Slow down at that point. You get the feeling that this is their kind of like their gimmick. They threaten in large numbers, just bargain for things to live on. You get the feeling the closer you get to the border, the less of this you might run into. This feels like that last gasp before you get to the border of Char. And the Devil's Bridge. Yeah, I mean, they're nomadic, you know, and they take advantage of people traveling in the region. for the
So you
most
said
part.
they'll have high divers.
So you guys,
the barrio customer.
so you guys continue on the path. anything you want to do. At this point, you will have passed a totem, which tells you you're about 8 miles from the border region. Or probably 8 miles from the big stream.
You know, and are we coming the right way, or are we going the wrong way to come back? Maybe
Um,
we should go up and around.
You're 8 miles away coming in from the long way. At some point, you got to get off the main path, go up towards
Okay.
the plateau, and come up.
So, it's probably about at this point, I think, we're in the right here. Sorry, figure out what
Activate the ring of flying.
Careful with it, man.
Go.
That's my only magic
As soon as he
thing
says
that
be careful,
someone
I'm
hasn't
already
stolen
like 60
from me.
feet. I'm already 60 feet there.
Yeah,
And going higher.
give me perception with advantage as you look through the spyglass. Okay. Okay. You can do some of that. What'd you get? 15. 15. So as he's scanning from his 60-foot position,
That's an advantage.
Yeah, this guy rolled.
I got a
Completely
4.
over.
And I got a 4 and a 15. Okay, I have a +2.
So as he's scanning, you guys watch the map begin to kind of fill out. And the area that he's looking is away from the main border crossing section, take you down into the main route down towards the southern portion of the route. You see about 6 different foot trails, spider webs, away from the main path. Up further, maybe half a day walk further away. And then they all kind of like cross over the border area of the map and into the mesa, the blasted mesa region makes up that particular area of your attention. And that means broke it out in half.
No, you haven't always.
What are my STDs? Yeah, which one did I get that?
So you just have an allergic
It's
reaction to
flaring.
that pain.
It's- One of his STDs is flaring. He's got chlamydia in
Big puff of like cottage, like
Oh, damn it.
cauliflower puff.
I don't know, maybe it was when you sat down on that.
Never date a sort
cold
of.
ball.
When she said, close your eyes, close your eyes. Close your eyes.
So what are you guys doing? Which one? There's 6 of them.
No.
Did the breakers get turned on? No, it's just 2-1. Break it down. Actually, we've got 15 minutes. We're going to start at 2.5 hours.
Oh, no. No.
So there's 6 footpaths that take you away from the main trail. Give me a survival check.
We need to go around.
The 6th of the paths goes the furthest out and up towards the furthest part of the board that crosses into the Devil's Thread. It feels like that'll take you the furthest north.
I'm looking what we need. Of course, you could figure out.
Watching Belfry
Go another
land.
like 60
stars
feet
there.
forward now. Just
I'm gonna get on Belfry with the map and everything. I'm gonna go up so get a bird's eye view.
Okay.
And scope it out.
oh, there you go.
It's not that kind of
It's a mammal.
I already have it tough enough to imagine. Without you piling more shit. Mrs.
Look,
Assistant fucking
The
DM.
bat has daylight goggles, but it
As
just
far as
goes
you look
on.
over at Alvin and hand, you should watch that arm with you.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you attempting to protect or pick up?
Okay, yeah. I think that's what I got.
It's a very cold breeze. None of them sound like, no matter what, they all feel like there's a measure of danger. They all feel what you need to do, but they all feel just as sketchy as the other.
They're all sus.
Then we'll see what
At this point, what are you doing about the horses?
We got meat, boys.
Meat
Back up on the menu. We leave the oatmeal behind. Horseback's way better.
We came out of the.
Horseback's way more protein than oatmeal.
Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of kids who may not be able to take with you at this point.
Already?
I mean, they
What
don't
happened?
took it off the bar. But they're not really, they can only hold a few trinkets per pocket. They're not really designed for like equipment and stuff like that.
So what you're telling
I
me
mean,
is
the box not like it's that big of an opening.
so really she can't do anything with it. Okay, great.
I mean, obviously, small things can go in the pocket. But
Let's start tearing down the.
at this point, as you guys begin to kind of like take all the kit off the, the horses, and kind of do it off to the side of the road, so it's not like obvious. All you can't be doing with respect to the personal vegetables, your whatever you can carry in your backpack. All you look back to the four horses kind of just trundling away. And there's a good, healthy amount of kit and equipment.
Yeah, like the part.
50 cold balls just go over it.
Just roll over them, and then there's just a skeleton with a.
Marker. Okay. Take you about an hour or two to finish it off.
My
What do we?
hear me out, is we find a dramatic with some precipice or something. The stone
Let's go. You want the gold key?
T-Rex. No, the T-Rex.
There's leaving it.
We can't carry it.
Says you.
That's why we're gonna bury it.
I'm not burying it. I paid good money for that thing.
You came with a free wagon.
I love how you guys. Did you guys bother to collect all the trinkets in front of it that were offerings? Or did you leave those?
Oh no, I totally took it. Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Now it's in a bag in the
That's
store.
why it's hanging inside. Like a medicine bag.
We
You know, like the little.
we made it look like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna mount the skull on my back backwards so that the jaw goes like this, and I use it.
It's bigger than you.
Safe inside.
No care, I'm taking it.
We're burying the rest of
Why
our
don't you?
stuff.
Why don't you convince Richter to hold this over?
Well, maybe I trade something.
I'm not carrying it.
Okay, fine.
You watch as Richter comes over, takes it like two big blue forky hands from Maggot, takes some rope out, lashes it onto his back over his engineering back. It runs from the bottom of his skull like all the way down behind his knees. And he just like looks down at Maggot and just goes, "You owe me." and it just
Hilarious thought. He's opening the jaw, put the top of the skull over his backpack, and just have the bottom of the jaw covering his throat.
it's a little easier for him to flat carry it on his back. I mean, he's strong enough to pull it off. But he'll carry
Where
it.
is his legs to the eye?
Thanks.
So you guys put the last of your equipment in your bags, and are you burying the rest of the kit at this point?
Just leave it. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna need it. We're gonna come back. How do you think we're gonna come back to that place? You see it? That hell hole will be lucky to get out
Maggot.
alive. We're gonna come back and like, what? Yeah,
We
kill the
already look like we
horses.
got killed.
Well, we're a different group that got killed.
You leave that gold skull. Make it look like
Jumbo's
it's
dead. That's no way they're gonna find it.
Leave that gold skull piece and make it look like you No. Probably.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to bury it, see if there's something for the group.
I've got the fucking skull in my back. I'm good. You guys figure it out. He just starts walking.
I'm coming with you, Rick. I got the bugbear drips, man. I gotta. Yeah. I can't take it.
No.
I should have never went down to the red district down. Went down to that bluff. Yeah, yeah. I went down to the basket. I paid good money for that.
You know what it is? It's smoky inhalation damage. Fucking arson spree.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I did get blown out of that window. I got smoke inhalation. This is ridiculous.
Okay. So you guys single order or kind of like start marching?
Sandpaper.
Always single file.
I'm not gonna do it.
Um, your feet.
And I'll go. And then I'll bring it
Let's
back.
get going.
So marching order. Who's going to lead?
You know, we have to walk like this.
Without rhythm.
Or the sound what we call
Silly walk.
I'm telling you.
It's like,
I'm telling you.
So you're saying to walk without rhythm?
Yes, yeah.
now, where the dudes kind of lead into this area, it's more of a transition now to like craggy escape, where you're coming out of cave, following the pathway to the crag. Who's in the lead? Probably you're in the lead. You're flying, right? And you're kind of keeping an eye on it as well.
Stay up every hour.
So as you guys wind your way through the crags and keeping a lookout, try and give you perception and perceptual advantage.
So they did I was able to scope anything out?
Well, you're up on Belfry, kind of scoping things out as you go.
Looking for devil. I want 20 of them in front of me.
You can give me perceptual advantage. Actually, you give me survival advantage because you're actually mapping out the continuation of the journey. 15, 23.
Oh shit. Nat 20 for a 28.
So as you're mapping out the horizon, the map is like filling out with what you see. Like you're getting this kind of steady understanding of the direction you're going. You're planning and plotting out the course. Talia's keeping an eye on things in front of her. You can see where Baruch every now and then kind of flies by you to go down, check on things. It's a nice orderly pattern of just kind of hiking through the crags of the trains. All of you here at the same time. Like an extremely loud roar. Just the loudest roar you've ever heard. Low pitch. Talia, as you're leading the group up and out of the current crag you're in, Baruch, you see it first, followed by Maggot. You watch as this massive T-Rex head comes up out of a ravine, like slurping down the remnants of something it's eating, and its nose just kind of looks directly at Talia. She brings you guys out, and the two of you are just kind of like staring at each other. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So we're going to come back next week, take on the T-Rex, baby.
We already killed one.
No, you didn't. You bartered for that skull.
No. That's not what happened. You're misinformed.
You're
I,
gaslighting us.
I do have
Stop
one question.
gaslighting
Is
us.
this skull,
Yeah.
is the skull that we have equal
Got a
to
pink,
or
pink ribbon on top, and that's
smaller
the girlfriend.
than
He's
the
gonna be
one that
super
just
dramatic.
looked at us?
Why are you carrying my child's skull?
So is it,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I want the other one that looks like it's gonna scoop us up and eat us.
Oh, there might be two there. You never know.
That's true.
Hey, everyone,
Might
thanks for
be.
coming out. We will see you next Tuesday. We're all good for next Tuesday.
Yep.
As far as we know, hopefully we won't have whiny pants in there or my son. I'm kidding. But yeah, check us out Sunday, Mad Mage and Fool's Errand. Monday will be Candela Obscura. And then Tuesday is always Shattered Kingdom. Good night, everyone. Be safe, be kind, and don't forget, play a game.